Never before have we had greater face a complex, rapidly changing world. Think of it a moment.
It is a world in which supersonic speeds are commonplace. It is a world that has seen the coming of the atomic bomb. It has seen the rise of the total state, the dictator, and the mass man. It is a world of new sensations, new excitements, new distractions.
So much to be learned by so many in so little time.
And I suppose you're here with no agenda, as per usual?
On the contrary, I'm here for comics.
How's your comic book collection, Brody?
Oh, it's going good, but I've been...
Oh, we are back. What is going on, everybody out there in YouTube world? How is it going? I have missed you guys so much. I know that we skipped another week of foil variant. Andrew is clearly not here. Oh, why did it go to the Andrew page? Yes, as you guys can probably tell, you have another Mav solo stream tonight. Andrew is, he's out being cool, being popular, seeing people, having things to do, work things to take care of. So, unfortunately, you guys are left with your more handsome host tonight. But regardless of the fact that it's only me flying solo again, we are here to deliver a good show. We're here to talk comic books and comic book related media. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff we still have to catch up on, but we can't get to it until Andrew shows back up. But that doesn't change the fact that we still have a lot of things that we can watch. What's wrong with my mic? Sakura says, your mic, what is it too low? It looks like it's good on my end. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, weird. It's like doubles. Weird. Hold on. Okay, how... Oh, now was I just... hold on, guys. I've got like 40 different audio things. What do you want, Zero? I know it's... Hold the hell on, all right? Just chill. I'm trying to fix this, okay? It's a one-man operation. It's a new rig. It's a new setup. I'm trying here. Just let me look for a second, and we should be able to... Okay, cool. We are... You can hear me now? Yes, guys, I saw you. Again, just give me some leeway. Again, new rig. I'm actively trying while we are on stream here to readjust everything. So if something pops off, don't yell at me. Just let me know, okay? Don't scream at me, Zero. Don't scream at me. Just be like, hey, guys. Or like, hey, can't hear you. Because screaming at me is just going to make me panic out. And it's going to make me go, oh, gosh, what is going on, right? So work with me here. I'm here to hang out with you, but also just, like, work with me. What? Sakura, I know. Guys, what more can I say? I'm trying here. I know the volume is low. Give me give me some leeway, guys. Come on. Like, this is not a perfect science. So I'm trying here, and I just told you guys that it's going to take some getting used to, but I need you guys to work with me, okay? Please, because I want to hang out with you. I want to talk to you guys, but if you guys are just going to scream at me, no, boomer joke is fine, Zero. Boomer joke is fine. But, you know, when you say Mike weird and then you start screaming, you know, look at the chat, I got it. Like, I know that things are going wrong. I'm trying my best. So if you see something popping off, just let me know in the chat. I'm here to hang out, okay? But, and again, yeah, I'm a little flustered right now because, again, new setup, new rig, first time going live with all of this. I have no idea what is working and what is not working. So, again, actively trying to swap bugs, all of that fun stuff while we're live. But that should not detract from the fact that, yes, we have a lot of comic book news that we can still talk about between video games and actual comic books and all of that sort of fun stuff. I do think, guys, from here on out, I think because again, Andrew and I really want to grow Foil Variant. We want this to be, you know, we want to make sure we're doing right by all of you because we love comic books. We want it all to be better. We want you guys to have fun. We want all that positivity and stuff. So we don't want to skip this show as much as we have been. Again, real life gets in the way. So I think from here on out, whenever Andrew's not available, we're going to do you and I, you know, Mav in the chat, we are going to play comic book related video games, not just Marvel Rivals, but we're going to go back in time. We're going to look at a lot of old good games, you know, Shattered Dimensions from Spider-Man, maybe play Injustice, maybe go back all the way, play some X-Men Arcade, who knows? But I figured that's a fun way for all of us to hang out, interact while Andrew's not here, while he's being cool, and it still delivers on comic book content, you know what I mean? So, with that said, let's get into what are we going to talk about tonight? Obviously, there's been a lot going on in the comic book world. I guess, here's the problem, is that Andrew, we read a lot of this stuff together, and right now we are in like a 3-week gap where everything that's come out are things that we need to talk about together, right? We've got All-New Venom with the Mary Jane reveal. We have every Absolute book or at least the ones they've announced, have officially had their issue 1s come out, and we still haven't even hit Flash. We've got a new Ultimate Spider-Man to cover. There are still some scenes from Ultimate Batman that I want to geek out over with Andrew. We have a lot of complaints about Justice League Unlimited. That book is, it's frustrating, to say the least, if you will. But that doesn't mean there aren't still things we can probably talk about. In particular, let's start off with a laugh, shall we? Let's see. Oh, Punk says, read the second issue of Ultimate Black Panther that I bought last week, and it was okay. First of all, I love the fact, check that out, guys, like, Punk's comic, Punk's comment, like, perfectly aligned into the window. That's not even me with any settings. Like, if Punk would have put one more word, it would have, pushed the comment off the screen. So I just think that's funny. Anyway, back to Punk's point. Read the second issue of Ultimate Black Panther that I bought last week, and it was okay. So, yeah, of all the Ultimate books that are out right now, I would absolutely say Ultimate Black Panther is the weakest one. Obviously, you guys, if you're a longtime watcher of the show, you might have picked up on that from the fact that not even like Andrew's not reading it, right? Like, I'm not even reading it. We don't talk about it on this show because the book it's very disappointing. Let's put it that way, right? Let me pull up some visuals so we can look at pretty pictures instead of just my beautiful face. Got to make sure, I don't wet all the panties and underwear out there. Let's see. Let's go to comic books into my secret digital long box folder. What are we even talking about? Ultimate Black Panther. So here, let's pull up issue 2. Why not? We'll just look at it since that's the one that Punk recently purchased. Comic book talk. Oh, everything is all. Oh, that's right. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Hold on, guys. I gotta like readjust the layering of that. So until then, let's see what you guys have going on. Let's talk to you guys. Subhuman says, first of all, Subhuman, shout out to you, buddy. Long time no see. I could probably beat Mav at Mario Kart. Honestly, you probably could. I like Mario Kart well enough. I've never been the biggest Mario Kart fan. Like, I'll play them when they... And don't worry, guys. My eyes are only down because I'm trying to fix everything. I'm totally 100% paying attention to you. I'm not texting or anything. I'm all in for you guys. You guys... I'm working on behind the scenes, and the text went back to... On the comic screen is back to being small again. And it's really funny seeing Subhumans a little like, I could beat you in Mario Kart. But, let's see. Yeah, Mario Kart's always been fun, but for some reason, it's never been like, I need to get that one. Like, it's never been a system seller for me. I always love playing it when I go over to, like, friends' houses. I love, you know, every time I pick up the controller, I have a lot of fun. It's just not one that I, like, rush out to buy all the time. So I admit, I have my moments where I'm very, very good at Mario Kart, and then I have my more often moments where I think I know what I'm doing because I want to apply like a technique from another game or something, right? Or like let's say I was playing Need for Speed and I'm like, oh yeah, that's how I want to race. And then my brain doesn't switch over and I start losing and I go, screw it. I'm just going to be the disruptor. You know what I mean? But no, nice to see you, Subhuman. I'm that new, what is it called? Mario Kart World Tour. That does look really, really cool for Mario Kart fans. I'm not super stoked about the $80, $90 price tag that we're getting, but rather than going super into that, you guys can, we can talk about that tomorrow on Good Mav Ugly, because that is more of a video game topic than a comic book topic. And if we really wanted to, I know that we could all get lost in that conversation for like absolute years. And you don't want to do that. We want to talk about some comic-y stuff, right? Like we want to talk about sequential images, if you will. Hey, where is this thing? I got one. We're almost there. We are almost there. Just got to put that in here. And then. I'm trying really hard now, guys, because I have the soundtrack from Wicked, like the Broadway version, stuck in my head, and I don't want to use that as my idol song because I absolutely know that if I sing even one lyric from that play on stream, we're gonna get hit. Even though, who cares about our channel? Well, Broadway does. They are notorious for being super, super stringent about that stuff. Alrighty, cool, awesome. That was a quicker fix than I thought we were going to need. Lock that. Like, yeah, you guys might also notice, for example, like, you can't see my room anymore, right? And that's because I rearranged everything, and now if I left this down, you would just see a door. No cool wall scrolls or dogs hanging out on beds. It would just be a door, and that's kind of boring, right? So, didn't need to... Thought I would switch it up, at least for the solo streams. Maybe when Andrew's back, it'll feel more natural to both be on the same page. No pun intended. But, all right, whoops, I don't need the virtual camera on. That's weird. Let's go to comic books. Where is the, there we go. Look at that. I have it all set up. And look, Andrew, what's going on, buddy? Long time no see. All right, so, yeah, I've briefly touched upon this book before. At least, you know, I brought it up a couple times. I really talked about at least like these first 3 or 4 issues when the Ultimate line started. I wanted to like this book, right? Because I was full when they announced the Ultimate relaunch. I was fully on board for it, right? I read that Ultimate Invasion miniseries, saw the maker recreate the Ultimate Universe, saw what they were planning. They come out, they say, guess what? We have Jonathan Hickman and Marco Cicchetto on a damn Spider-Man book. And I went, yes! And then they went, we have Peach Momoko doing an entire X-Men book. And I went, yes! And then they went, we've also got a Black Panther book. And I went, I don't know. But considering how stoked I am about everything else, I'm in for this. Like, I'll give it a shot. And as you guys know, like the ethos of the Ultimate Marvel Universe 2.0 is basically like, yeah, they're being more focused on what heroes they cover, right? There's not 4 billion series. We've only really got the 4, right? Or 5 now. We've got Ultimates, Spider-Man, X-Men, Black Panther, and now Wolverine. So they're keeping it really, really tight. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's see what you guys are doing. Unfortunately, this book, so this is written by Brian Edward Hill. He's done a couple things. He's more of a like a screenwriter who focuses really on like the Black experience, which he's got some good movies talking about that topic, but it doesn't necessarily translate to good comic book writing. And he doesn't do that here, right? Like he doesn't, to his credit, Ultimate Black Panther is not a book about like Black people are oppressed and let's get mad at Whitey and America bad and all that stuff. That's not what Brian does. But what he does do is, I've said this before, but Ultimate Black Panther is basically just the MCU movie put to page. The same sort of, T'Challa's king. They've got the, I don't know. Wakanda is still trying to stay hidden. There isn't a lot that's super interesting in this book, right? They started off with really strong promises. It might even be this book or this issue. Yeah. In this issue, they introduce like Storm as Storm's in Africa, so she teams up with the Black Panther. That makes sense. And I really, really liked that idea. And then they don't really do anything with it. The next few issues off of this are like T'Challa very unsure about what he's doing, while Storm and the version of Killmonger in this universe are kind of like, we're here to fight for Wakanda. What are we doing? And it really hasn't been as different or exciting or experimental as the other series. So I was telling this to Andrew a couple days ago. I'm like 4 or 5, 6 issues behind on this book because I just can't bring myself to care. It's so slow. Nothing's really happening. And I've seen this all before, right? Like I've seen Wakanda going to war. I've seen Wakanda being sabotaged from within. I've seen Vibranium have a rival metal introduced into the universe. Like I've seen all this. And so you're not really giving me anything new, right? So like, let's look at the other books. In Ultimate Spider-Man, yeah, we've had married Peter and Mary Jane before. Obviously, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But what this book is giving us is an actual, not only like a married life Peter, who is a father and not a father to like a teenage hero on her own, right? Like this isn't Spider-Girl, but it's also Peter as getting his powers way older. So we're seeing a lot of different scenarios. We're seeing things play out way differently than we would have expected. And that's kind of cool, right? When Andrew and I open up an issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, it might have one of our favorite characters on the cover. We have no idea what they're going to do with them. And as longtime viewers know, every time we have an issue of that book, he and I walk away with our jaws just like dropped. And we're just like, this book is incredible, right? Over in Ultimate X-Men, you have a completely different take on the mutants, where it's this like Japanese cult or like, okay, so I love Ultimate X-Men. Peach Momoko is like one of my favorite artists, creators. She's also like extremely cute. I'm just a complete simp for her. But that book, it's a slow burn, but I would say it's probably the most different and experimental, because like mutants exist, but they were all like in this universe at, up to a certain point, it developed like the 616. So you had a bunch of mutants, and then the Maker with all of his plans basically like oppressed them, shut them down. And so now in Japan, you've got a very small cult of mutants who are saying like, oh, we are a peaceful religion, blah, 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 but they're led by Mr. Sinister, and they're secretly going to like help the Maker take over the world. And so then you've got a rebel band of mutants, the X-Men, who are like, no, we got to, fight to stop you. And it's not as clear cut. It's way more over the place, but it's X-Men like we haven't seen them before. Same with Ultimates. Ultimates is taking a very, while the bones of Ultimates, are very simple, it's the Avengers, right? You've got your Tony, you've got your Cap, you've got your Hawkeye. The way they're, we haven't seen this level of a story before, we've never seen the Avengers as a team that is, recruiting underground to fight literally God. There is an amazing line in the latest issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, which, well, I don't know how we're going to do it when Andrew's finally back here. We're going to have to, like, quick shot, like, 40 different comics, so we'll have to spend, like, maybe 2 minutes on each of them. It'll be a fun show. Let's see what happens. But in the last issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, who is it? Oh, Kingpin goes to confront Uncle Ben and Jonah because of the articles they're writing in their paper, and he basically tells them, like, you know, he threatens them, says don't, you know, sniff up this tree or whatever, and they're like, who do you even work for? Is he that, like, we don't care. And he's like, gentlemen, as far as you're concerned, I work for God. Because he's talking about the Maker, right, who completely manipulated this version of the Ultimate Universe. That's like what the Ultimates are going up against, and it's pretty different. Now, over in Black Panther, you have rival kingdom wants to invade Wakanda, and Black Panther is dealing with, does Wakanda come out of the shadows or does Wakanda stay hidden? And that's about it. The biggest change I think they've made, which I've talked about before, is, and it's actually, you can see it in this issue, is the introduction of, here, like, this woman is on some sort of, like, all-female, like, mystical council that like, and here's where they're having sort of the palace intrigue. Like, I feel like that's what they wanted in this book, was the royal palace intrigue, all that sort of stuff. It just falls flat because Brian, I don't think, really knows how to write that, because this group of female witches, they, like, protect the magic of Wakanda and the vibranium, and they know everything, but they're very, very cryptic, and they're the only ones who sort of have power to tell T'Challa what to do. And does any of this sound familiar to you guys? Because if you saw the DCEU Aquaman movies, it's literally the same thing Aquaman had to deal with, right? Like that I don't remember what they're called, but it's like the all-female council who was like, we can't go into the depths or whatever. I don't even remember why they were so mad at him, but that's literally, this book is just Aquaman the movies plus Black Panther the movies. So at this point, I'm really far behind on it. I hope that whatever they're building up to maybe uses this version of Black Panther really well. But yeah, I've not been super excited about this book. Pardon me. Punk says, I just wanted to give one of the Ultimate comics a try. Nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong, guys. I will never judge anybody. I will never call you out for saying, I saw something, I wanted to check it out, let me give it a read, right? No, absolutely nothing wrong. Even if out there, one of you guys said, like, for whatever reason, I don't know, you might go, I picked up the first trade of Tom King's Wonder Woman because I wanted to see what he was doing, but whatever reason, I might go, good Lord, like, really? But I'm never going to go, you're a bad person, you made a stupid choice. Now, if you were saying, I bought the Tom King Wonder Woman because I heard it was one of the best and I want to have only the best on my bookshelf, that's when I call you stupid, because it's like, objectively, that's not true. But if you just see, like, a cover, or you read a synopsis, a solicit, and it says something you think is cool and you check it out, ain't nothing wrong with that, guys. Zero things wrong with that. I was about to mix up my tenses. Hold on, I got to turn on my fan. It is hot in here. Ugh. Oh, and look at that. Even that's faster because I just got to step behind me now. But yeah, overall, like, the Ultimate 2.0 universe has been one of my... This is what, like, I love about comics, right? Most everything coming out of Ultimate is what I want to see. I want to see real depth and character, evolution like we're seeing in Spider-Man. I want to see unique art styles and unique interpretations of characters that we've seen for thousands, or not thousands, but, dozens and dozens of years. And in that sense, I don't mean, like, if they said, oh, the main 616 X-Men are now going to be like the Ultimate ones, right? So now Cyclops is like a girl. Here, I'll bring them up because they had their hero pose moment, I guess you could call it, in the most recent issue that just came out this Wednesday, and that's why we're all here. Wednesday, 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 Wednesday. Oh, maybe it's not in. Oh, okay. Peach at least provided this, so we can at least look at this. Yeah. So like here, who you're looking at here? You have what's her name? Kanon, Shinobu, Mei, and Hisaku. In order, your Cyclops, your Molly from Runaways. What's her name? Princess Bruiser or something like that. You have Nico from the Runaways as well, and then you have Armor, who are our main. Those are our main X-Men right now, right? I wouldn't want Kanon, or no, is it Kanon? Whichever, I forget. They don't. I'm so bad with names, but the Cyclops here, right? I wouldn't want her to be our main 616 Cyclops. And if tomorrow they like did Crisis on Infinite Marvels and they rebooted everything and we got this as our Cyclops, I would be upset, because that's just like you're trying too hard. You're pandering. Leave it at that, because that's the Cyclops we all know, we all expect, we all love, we all grew up with. And then, but I like it over here in Ultimate, because that's what an alternate universe should do, right? Like, show me crazy different versions, and versions that at least make sense, right? There was and I don't have it because it was a really bad book, but there was this mini series called Bishop's War College that came out last year before, where the entire thing was like Bishop ends up finding himself on another Earth where everybody is black, like all the races are reversed, right? Like Emma Frost is black, Cyclops is black, Sebastian Shaw, blah 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 blah. Bishop is white. Like it was that, right? Not necessarily a bad idea, but they wore it as an aesthetic rather than actually exploring what that might mean. And what I mean by that is, in that book, for example, there's a scene where Bishop is like being interrogated by those X-Men. And he's like, look, you don't believe me. I get it. Just read my mind. You will see everything I'm talking about. And so they did, or their Emma Frost opens it up, shares the memory, and everybody's like, whoa, what did I see? Oh my God, that was horrible. And then like, I know one of them talks to the Emma, and it's like, girl, you were white. Oh my God. And it's just like, oh, so you just really wanted to do some very, get claps on social media thing, instead of exploring like, what would an all black mutant world actually look like? Right? You guys know what I mean? There's no actual exploration of what that means. They just wanted to go, look, we have black X-Men. We're wearing the costume of black X-Men. Clap for us. Instead of actually going, let's explore what being all black X-Men mean. And yeah, so all of this stuff in Ultimate is really, really, really good. It is just, Black Panther is the one book where it is super, 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 super weak. And all this, not everything on every production is going to be great. We've all seen, we all have shows we love where we didn't like a season or a couple episodes, or a movie where we're like, it's fantastic except for these 5 minutes. That's kind of what I feel like Black Panther is. Overall, Ultimate 2.0, one of the best things we've ever seen, especially in recent years. But Black Panther, it's not necessarily like insulting or egregiously terrible where you're like, why do you have a job? It's just boring. It doesn't do anything. It is the, oh gosh, what is that called? The like garnish on your dinner plate, right? Like, it's there. Technically you can eat it, but you, like, if you do, you're not really going to get anything out of it except to say that you ate it. So all that to say, don't let one bad book turn you off of Ultimate, because I will sing to the high heavens the Ultimate praises. And also, while we're here, before we move on from Ultimates, I just wanted to show off. So this is Peach Momoko doing her entire own manga take on the X-Men. She wrote it. She writes it. She draws it. They have a guy who localizes it for her because she does it all in Japanese. But this is 100% like a Japanese manga work. And this, like, basically in this issue, we get a fight between Maystorm and Surge, and you can see like there's a lot of Japanese influence here. For example, Mayday, right down there in the bottom right panel, you can see Mayday like exploding into cherry blossoms after getting hit with an attack. But like she's a ninja. So it's actually one of those like vanishing things. So Surge hits the dummy, it explodes into flowers. Mayday's already way above, and then she delivers a rider kick, right? And then bam, and you can just see. I love everything about this. I really don't even know how to properly discuss what it is I love about Peach's take, like her art so much. I know it's not for a lot of people. I know in particular Andrew, he's not a fan of Peach. He knows Peach is a good artist and he likes a lot of her pieces, but he's not a fan of her as like, he wouldn't want her on like the sequentials in a book, which is, I get that. Not every artist is for everybody, but there is just something about every time she draws something, the way she understands the marriage of Western comics and manga and the way she sort of just does her thing. I'm all about this. It almost feels like that punk ethos of what comic books should be, where it's sort of forget what the shareholders think or forget what everybody is complaining about. I'm going to make whatever I want to make, consequences be damned. And luckily enough, Peach is good at what she does, where we get really good stuff out of it. So, yeah, and then we end with this issue. We get Rogue. She's finally here. The Ultimate Rogue is showing up. So, yeah, I'm Ultimate good. Peach Momoko, please marry me. And, yeah, I would recommend reading pretty much any other Ultimate book that's out right now. This is what I'm glad to hear this. Punk says he did read the first issue of the new Vampirella series and it was good. I'm glad to hear it. I haven't gotten around to it. I am so behind on comics, on shows, on it is a crazy busy time over on my end. It is what it is. I'm not complaining. It's just yeah, I got to get to Vampirella, and I know I have it on deck because you've been talking about it, Punk. You've been telling me for at least like a month or two now. You're like, hey, new series. I know you're daunted by all 600 issues or whatever of the main one that are out. Just jump in here. So I was like, all right, on Punk's Rec, I will jump in here. Let's see. What else do we got? Let's see. Subhuman says they're doing a Peter Parker middle school years. WTF. Yeah, let's we can talk about this a little bit. That's comic book news. Let me do one thing real quick. I gotta copy all these settings to the browser page to make sure that everything looks good. Okay, the only thing I gotta fix is the chat size, the featured chat size. Whoa, it went away. No. And also, Matt, what is going on? I see you there, buddy. Swift -1, how's it going, buddy? Gosh, I feel like I haven't seen all of you guys in weeks, even though it's only, I mean, I guess it's been 1 week, but it feels like we haven't been on our regular schedule, and it's throwing me off. Also, you know what, we'll get into this, but let's start. We'll start with what Subhuman said, and then we'll get into what I was going to bring up, because it all comes together in terms of comic book and comic book related accessories. All right, let's switch this over to, is this the one I want? No, I don't think that's the one I want. That's the one I want, and I don't need that anymore. We can go here. Boom. All right. Yeah, this is comic book news. Normally we don't get to cover news since there's so many books that Andrew and I are talking about, but this is something we talk about a lot here on this show. This is something I personally talk about a lot, both in my personal life, on social media, on my show, on Bounding, obviously, where, in case you guys didn't know, I'm the editor-in-chief, and I'm the one who wrote this. This is my sort of a passion beat, right? Is calling out Marvel for their continual bullshit that they're pulling with Spider-Man over the years. We don't need to get into all of it, but, you know, regular watchers of my show, of Foil Variant, anybody who might have read any Spider-Man comics in the recent years, you'll know that pretty much since One More Day, this Marvel, the catchphrase I've coined, and I try to get it to catch on. I've only seen 2 people so far use it, but shout out to Timon and Sakura. But the catchphrase I came up with since then is nobody hates Spider-Man more than Marvel Comics, because ever since One More Day, they have really just put Spider-Man through how do I put this? It's not necessarily because, all right. The problem isn't that Spider-Man is constantly being put through the ringer, right? I misspoke a little bit there. That is sort of one of the elements of Peter's character. He's the everyman. He's the guy who has to, who struggles to balance work and superheroing and his regular life, and then also keep his identity a secret. You don't really get that from a lot of other heroes, right? Somebody like Wolverine, yeah, he's got a hard life, but he can still go to the X-Men. People still know who he is. He doesn't have to worry about anybody learning that he has claws. Captain America, he might be trying to, or, Daredevil, not Captain America's a Logan type example, but Daredevil, he might be trying to keep his identity secret, but he's still got a job and he's still got, high success, and a lot of heroes still respect him. Peter is definitely supposed to play into that archetype of like the schlemiel and the schlemazel, to borrow from my Yiddish family, right? Which is basically like the guy things happen to, and the guy who like, what is it? It's like the guy things happen to, and the guy who does things, like makes those dumb things happen. Like basically he's a putz, which is, again, that is part of his, I get that. That is an element of his character. I don't think you want to necessarily divorce him too far from that, but we'll get into that. So that is, we've all understood that about Peter ever since we all picked up comic books way back before 2008. He's the underdog. He's the everyman. Things sometimes don't go right for him because, things sometimes just don't go right in life. And sometimes it really pours on Peter. And that's because in life, it really pours on him. But back in the day, before all of this, before One More Day, Peter was never a punching bag, if you will. If you go and you read One More Day, which for those of you who don't know, just in case, I know we have a lot of viewers who watch in the VOD or watch and don't comment, so I'm not entirely sure how familiar all of our viewership is with the story, but 2008, that was when Marvel Comics published the infamous One More Day storyline, where they decided to retcon out Peter Parker's marriage to Mary Jane by selling it to Mephisto. If you go and read any of the collected editions of that story, whether it's the hardcover, whether it is the trades, whether it is like the, it's not an omnibus, but like sometimes they include it in other collections or whatever. But whenever you can find the full One More Day story, it usually comes with, in the very first printing, in the very first collected printing of One More Day, Tom Brevoort, and here, I'm going to pull it up. Don't worry about actually seeing it, guys. I'm just going to show you it because it's all text, but I just want to show you what I am talking about. It is, where is it? It's a link in here somewhere, and I just don't remember where I put the link. Maybe it's in the other article. Because again, guys, I write about this all the time. I am zeroed in. Every Wednesday, I make sure to see what the letters pages in every Spider book says, and every, every Sunday night, Monday morning, I go to Tom Brevoort's Substack page to make sure to see what other bullshit he has to say about defending all of this, right? Where is it? I just want to show you guys. Kazzy. Let's see. Here, maybe if I zoom out, it'll be easier for me. Aha! See, there it is. So, yeah, this is the big sort of so obviously Spider-Man Manifesto right here, you can see that, written by Tom Brevoort, September 18th 2006. What this is essentially his direction for what they wanted to do with Peter Parker, and with the reset of his marriage and all of that. If you deep dive, or not deep dive, but if you just read this, he goes into every tenet of who Spider-Man is, right? But the problem is he lands on those core ideals that we were just talking about. And instead of seeing that as sort of an element of Peter Parker, Brevoort sees these things as them being the defining aspects of Peter Parker. And so to connect this back to what I was saying a second ago, yes, Peter Peter at his core has that bad luck. I don't call it the Parker luck. I've talked about this with Josh before. Josh Berger, associate editor over there at Bounding Into Comics, good friend of mine. You might have seen him on my shows sometimes. But he and I agree that Parker Luck, when Peter's like, oh, good old Parker Luck, Pete's misreading it. When Pete says like, oh, Parker Luck, he's like, oh, I'm having bad luck. But that's, to us, we're like, no. Parker Luck is actually, look at how lucky you can actually be in life, man. Like, you found, you're dating like a supermodel. You have, like, you're super respected by the superhero community at a certain point. You've been able to save like Aunt May dozens upon dozens of times. You've beaten like a herald of the Silver of Galactus. Parker Luck is good. But I digress. That's sort of a whole other dumb little bar conversation. But back to what I was saying. Yes, there is an inherent part of Peter's character that is supposed to be the everyman that we can all connect with, right? We see somebody like Captain America, we see somebody like Iron Man, they might go through struggles, but at the end of the day, they're very disconnected struggles from what you and I might experience, right? Tony might have his company taken out from underneath him, but he still got his suits, he still got his connections, he still has all these secret hideouts. We don't know anything about that. I haven't had any of my businesses swooped out from underneath me or anything like that. I've never had billions of dollars. Same with, Captain America might go through a crisis of faith or find himself, targeted by a villain and being smeared in the public. But at the end of the day, he's still Captain America. He's still, like, people know who he is. That respect can beat out that misinformation and all that sort of stuff. With Peter, we get, he can't pay rent. He was late for work. He missed a date because he had to go Spider-Manning. And that is super relatable to the average person. Because even if we're not being torn away by our superhero duties, things come up, right? I'd love to be here every week for Foil Variant. Last week, we ran into a snag. Things like that happen, right? So that is part of Peter that makes him so relatable, that defines him as this specific hero. He is that everyman hero. The problem is Brevoort sees that is what he is only supposed to be, and he can never grow up. I'm not against, let's say we rebooted Spider-Man right the hell now. Like, we just did a full Crisis on Infinite Earth style complete revamp. Not Secret War style where we just change one or two things, and not New 52 style where we reset everything except for two storylines. I mean, if we do like a full chop, tomorrow is issue 1, new continuity, we are starting from fucking zero, right? Like, I mean a full reset. If we do that, I'm cool with you starting off Spider-Man at that position of, like, he's struggling to make ends meet, he's awkward with girls, he's kind of pissy, he's not the shy nerd that everybody really tries to portray him as. Like in that new Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man cartoon, they really try to play up, oh, Peter is just your sort of lovable, quiet, awkward nerd kid, sort of like they did with Tom Holland, what they really did with Andrew Garfield, yeah? Problem is, if you go back and you read those comics, Pete isn't that. Yes, he's sad and a little bit of an outcast, but he's actually kind of an asshole. Like, he is the kind of bully-y. Is that the right word? Like, the person who gets bullied, who, like, yeah, he doesn't deserve the bullying, but then he also, like, slings back. So I can understand why this feud continues. It's not good. Like, nobody should ever bully. We all know that. But again, this is how life works. I have a clip, if I can pull it up. If I can pull it up really fast. Oh no, that's too long of a clip. I just need like one part of it. Let's see. I can probably fast forward it. Where is it? It's in the thumbnail to this clip, and you won't even. Oh, because it's like at the very beginning. Okay, so this is how I best equate Peter Parker, right? I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen 30 Rock. One of my favorite shows of all time, just top tier humor. And it's like NBC style humor way before everybody went off the deep end in 2014, right? So it's actually like really biting, really on point. But in this episode, Liz here, played by Tina Fey, she's like, I have to go to my high school reunion. I don't want to go. I was bullied like endlessly. And her character in the show, she is a dorky sort of older woman who is not cool. Very, very, a neat, like NEET style character almost, if not for the fact that she runs the in-universe version of SNL. But in this episode, she's got an invite to her high school reunion. She doesn't want to go. She's going, oh, I was bullied. All that's going to happen is I'm going to go there. They're going to bully me again. And this is what happens when she actually re-encounters like her bully at the reunion. Oh, let me make sure the volume's going. Because I don't want you guys to miss out on that and have me play it twice because I'm a stupid. Okay. All right, that's what a teenage Peter Parker would be like. Obviously, Peter is more self-aware than Liz is, and Peter would actually apologize, and he would go, we've actually seen it. We've actually seen comics where he's gone over to Gwen and Harry and Liz and Flash and been like, remember when we were in high school? Like, yeah, you were like, I was a jerk too. Like, I'm so sorry about that. But anyway, that is just how I always like that. This to me is Peter Parker, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is part of being a teenager, right? I'll admit this, like, it's one of my biggest, I'd say shame, but in high school, I thought it was funny to call a girl that I was like really good friends with and actually had a bit of a crush on. I thought it was, I don't even remember what the hell the term was that I was calling her. But I thought it was funny. She shot insults back to me. And so we kept I thought it was totally cool. And then I find out like senior year, she thought like she was crying every day because she was taking those insults to heart. And I had no idea, right? It's called being a teenager. You are just fucking stupid sometimes. I felt terrible. I've apologized to her since. We've made up. Funnily enough, like after high school, we lost contact. And then one of my sister's friends ended up working with her. And my sister threw a party or whatever. And I was like, oh, holy shit. Like, it's you. Whatever. No, Mavlor. That's not what we're here for. But back to Spider-Man. I'm cool. I would love, and I think it's right to have a Peter Parker who starts sort of with the world crushing down on him. He thinks everything is crushing against him. He's lashing out. He's lost his uncle. His aunt is, very frail. At least if we go with that interpretation, he has a bad love life. People at school bully him. Yeah. And then you know what? He gets his powers and life starts going worse for him because he has to start making sacrifices for being Spider-Man. I get that. We understand that. I wouldn't want him. Here's the thing, which is where Brevort doesn't understand. Do you guys out there, because I know this isn't what I want, but would you be interested in seeing a person stay that way for 60 years, right? No. Like you have to at some point let characters grow up or stop their stories. You can't just keep retreading the same ground over and over and over again and expect everybody to always be on board with it. For example, say we've all had this experience, right? Say that we've all had a friend who maybe, they discovered a joke. Let's say, here's a really good example because this is a very common one. Do you identify as an attack helicopter? Remember when that joke was super, super funny back in like 2007 when all of the this social discourse started popping up? Now, we all have a friend who probably still to this day responds to anything with, oh, did you assume my gender? I'm an attack helicopter. And we all go, we get it. But how many of us really go, that's still funny? I'm guessing most of us would go, yeah, dude, we get it. We know. Like, you've said that joke. Anything else, please? And then maybe, a couple months down the line, if he doesn't say it, he'll drop it randomly and you'll go, oh yeah, it's funny again for like a second. But then you move on. You don't go doubling back down to that. Or even think of, here like that example I just gave is how you look at somebody like, that's how I view Marvel editorial. They keep trying to sell us the same story, the same line over and over and over and over. And all of us are going, it's not funny. Like, this joke isn't funny. Can we move on? Or like, it's not entertaining. It's not cool. Can we move on? The other thing that at least makes me, you know, dislike where we are with Spider-Man, and this idea that he always has to be, you know, on the back foot. He always has to be a loser. He always has to be struggling with all of the same problems all the time. He can never grow up. It always has to be struggling for rent, struggling with women, struggling to balance Spider-Man and his life. That's what it should always be. That's what Braveheart says. But let me put it to you this way. Again, think about, we've all had a friend who is like this, where, let's say, you know, we've all had a friend who, for example, they're dating somebody and you know they're awful, right? Like, oh yeah, man, like who's around? Like, oh, Zero, you won't believe this, man. Like, I was hanging out with Aerith yesterday, and she was crazy. She like went through my phone because she saw that I texted somebody about, you know, oh yeah, I have 3 female coworkers and 4 male coworkers, and she thought, you know, she got paranoid about who was dating me, like blah 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 blah. It's crazy. It sucks. I'm miserable. And you go, dude, maybe break up. Like, maybe this isn't healthy for you. And he goes, yeah, you're right. And then next week, nothing happens. Next week after that, nothing happens. Week 3, he comes back, goes, man, I'm so unhappy. She's so awful to me. And you go, are you going to break up with her? And he goes, you're right, I should, but I can't, or I won't. At a certain point, you just go, dude, I got no sympathy for you. Like, you're unhappy. That's on your own fucking fault. Like, if you were ever putting in effort to change, we could have a different conversation, but you're not doing that. And that's what I see from Peter Parker. We have had him for 60 years, and literally, guys, he is still, because of all of this bullshit from Brevoort, he is right now at square one. He's back working at the Bugle taking pictures. He's back struggling with rent. He's back trying to dodge his, like, friends and family, or not dodge, but, like, balance his friends and family with Spider-Man. It's all the stuff we've seen before. So from either end, whether in the meta sense of like, guys, nobody's liking this, or the sense of like, I don't want to how can I root for somebody who actively doesn't want to take any, like, make any decisions to improve his life? You know what I mean? If you are so intent on keeping Peter this low, then the only way you achieve this is by completely and constantly undercutting his character. Genuinely, guys, okay, like, how do I put this? One of the things that really bothers me about all of this is that for some reason they've locked in on Spider-Man being the one character who cannot change, cannot do it whatsoever. Now, I've talked about this before, where one of the bad things we have to deal with as comic book or video game, movie, TV, anything, right, is the ever corporatization of the things we love. Because as things get more corporate, the suits at the top become more concerned about, you know, will we be able to sell this to a bigger crowd? Is the line always going to go up? And in terms of superheroes, what that effect is that essentially, you can't have a character grow or change outside of what the mainstream sort of already knows about them, or their mainstream stereotype, if you will, right? Batman, he has he has sidekicks. He lost his parents to a shooting, and, you know, he's got a bunch of gadgets, and he goes and trains with Ra's al Ghul. You can't switch that formula up at all, even if you were trying to retcon something, because eventually Warner Brothers is going to go, oh no, people might get confused, because these people think we're all idiots, but they're going to go, oh, people are going to get confused when they watch a Batman movie, and then in the comics, he's not 1-to-1. Nobody's ever been that confused, guys. It's all just stupid marketing, like jerking themselves off. But that is the problem with Spider-Man, at least. Spider-Man is so popular for Marvel that they have locked themselves into, we have to keep him here in this version of him that was defined by sort of the Tobey Maguire movies, the down on his luck, super poor, always getting crapped on Peter. This is who we need to lock in on. And that's why he can't change. But the problem, and and now to what I was like getting to, my problem with that is that literally every other character has changed in comic books. Almost every character, right? Like, for example, Fantastic Four, introduced 2 years before Spider-Man. They have not only grown up and gotten married, but Reed and Sue have had kids. Ben has gotten married, and Ben has now adopted kids. Johnny has gone through, like, a lot of maturity. They're not still dealing with the same crap that they were dealing with before, and they have new and different elements to them. Wally West, who I would place as the DC equivalent of Spider-Man, in the sense that he's sort of the young hero that everybody wanted to connect with. He was allowed to not only grow up from a sidekick, but then also get married, have kids, and regardless of all the bullshit they did post-Infinite Crisis with New 52, at least now, like, they've brought the family back, and he's allowed to be a family man. But for some reason, they won't let Peter do that because they think it makes him not relatable anymore, which is insane to me. Because you know what? We'll get super, let's get super game, let's get super emotional or whatever, or personal is a better word. But Spider-Man, you guys all know this, my favorite hero. One of the things I really like about him, and that I personally connect with, is that fact that he does get dumped on a lot, but he also keeps going forward, still finds victories where he can, and just at the end of the day, keeps going. It sucks for me. It's not relatable to me if that guy just gives up and keeps staying in the same place forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I thought it was really cool when my buddy moved out of his parents' place when we were, 19, and he had a really small 1-bedroom apartment that was all his, and it was great. And he had sort of he was affording it with a part-time job, and it was a struggle, but it was cool because he was like, wow, we're 19, you're independent. If he was still doing all of that to this day, I wouldn't admire him anymore. I would go, dude, what happened? Right? When Peter grows up, when he gets married, when he has kids, when he becomes the CEO of Parker Industries, that to me is more relatable because it's showing that this is somebody who can move forward. You can achieve things in life, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. So this super weird obsession is killing everything Spider-Man. And now to where this all got started, which is, where was it? Subhuman's comment about, did it go away? What the heck? Where's the featured comment? That's weird. Let me bring it back. Subhuman. There we go. Yes, back to what Subhuman said. They're doing a Peter Parker in middle school years, and that was what I brought up over on Bounding. So, yeah, yesterday, Joe Kelly, who is writing the next Amazing Spider-Man volume, which this really bums me out because I actually really, really like Joe Kelly. For those of you who don't know who he is, he was responsible for Deadpool Volume 3, which is the one from like 1994 that took Deadpool from psychotic like terrorist to funny, fourth wall breaker lunatic. Again, go read his early appearances and stuff. The man is a legit, like, disconnected from the world, schizophrenic terror. I'm sure longtime viewers are tired of me bringing this up, but the very first time Wolverine and Deadpool meet, Wolverine is visiting somebody, and Deadpool busts in, says, it's my ex-girlfriend. What are you doing with, or that's my girlfriend. What are you doing with her? She's with me. Come with me, babe. And she goes, we broke up like 12 years ago. I don't know what the hell is going on. You're insane. And Deadpool is just like, no, you're coming with me. And he only stops when Wolverine like properly shreds him. But he doesn't go, oh, I was wrong, my bad. He goes, I'm coming back. So Joe Kelly's writing the next Amazing Spider-Man run. And yeah, he confirmed in an interview with Marvel that one of the big focuses of his book is going to be Peter as a young person. But as Subhuman here highlights, they're going to be focusing on Peter before high school. So middle school years, probably like freshman year of high school, grade school years. And I wrote this in the article, but like, admittedly, yes, that has never been explored really for Peter Parker. We've never really had like baby Spider-Man or anything like that. So there is an element of that is new territory. However, that doesn't work here with Spider-Man because we know they're not just doing it because this is something we've never explored before. They're doing this to keep Peter in that perpetual state of young. Again, did I put the, well, this is when he graduates college. So I point this out a lot. In the comics, Peter Parker was only in high school for 3 years. I even have the things right here. He debuted in 1962 in Amazing Fantasy number 15. And then years later in 195s, no, that should be 1965s. Let's edit that real quick. That is sort of embarrassing to me. 1965. There we go. So yeah, in the comics, Peter only spends 3 years as a high school student. And then he only spends 10 years at Empire State University, right? So if you're trying, what they keep wanting to reinforce, like Peter is young, Peter, young. He's only been that young version for less than a fourth of his entire 60-year existence. That's not the main version of him that people really kind of latched onto. And yet this is the one that Marvel has been pushing for years and years and years and years after the Tobey Maguire movies. Tobey Maguire really played up that, the sad sack Peter. And that's sort of what we've been getting out ever since. The awkward teenage sad sack Peter. Again, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. That entire show is sad, weird, nerdy Peter. They are trying to, how do I put this? They fundamentally sort of misunderstand what Spider-Man is supposed to represent and the stories he's supposed to tell. And they really just treat him as a marketing tool. And that's sort of the summary here. And, going back to everything I was saying, the reason they won't let him change is because he's their most popular character. And they're super afraid that if you go and you watch Spider-Man, what's the new one? Brand New Day, which, why would you do that to yourself, guys? Like, even if it has nothing to do with the storyline, you know what the hell that name, evokes. You're only setting yourself up for outrage and bullshit. But I digress. Oh, shoot, what was I even saying about that? Yeah, so I forget what I was saying on that point, but to sort of take it back to what Sub's saying here, this book is focusing on those middle school years, but it's just because they want to really reinforce in your brain, Peter is a young kid, Peter is a young kid, Peter is a young kid, Peter is a young kid. He's not. He isn't. And he was there. Again, this all boils down to this fundamental misunderstanding by these corporate executives who don't know comic books or video games or movies and haven't really experienced them outside of anything but a product, right? Where the logic of, if you go watch a movie and then you read a comic book and they're not one-to-one the same, people are going to lose their minds. That's the kind of logic you have, and I know this from my years back in corporate, when you're designing packaging or whatever for a product, right? Let's say you have, here, I actually have 2 cans of them right here. Like, you have this can, and then you have, that can. And this is the old one, and you introduce this new one, and the guy's going to go, whoa, where's the blueberry logo on this one? Everybody's going to look at it on the shelf and go, what the hell? That's not the drink I know. I'm super confused. And they'll pass on it. That's the logic there. Because if you're watching a movie or you watch a comic book or whatever, how many times I've literally had this conversation where a buddy of mine watches a Spider-Man movie or something, and then they come talk to me and they go, hey, where's Mary Jane right now? And I just go, she's been written out of the blah, 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 blah. I don't overflood them because we got to know your audience, but I just go she's not she's just not in the story right now. They did stuff, blah, blah, blah. And they go, got it. There is no freak out of but then how do I know that this is Spider-Man? How do I know? It's super bad. And to Subhuman's complaint, this is not going to do anything. This next volume of Amazing Spider-Man is just going to retread more of the stuff we know. It's going to reinforce, we're going to see Uncle Ben told him great power comes great responsibility when he was 6 or something. Or it's just, I don't know, man. Marvel hates Spider-Man more than literally even his biggest detractors do. And we're sadly not getting out of that spiral anytime soon. And it really is, these people who are in charge now, they only understand these things as aesthetics and not what the core actually means. And I know I'm sort of harping on that point, but last night over on the Bounding stream, this is what Cider really opened my eyes to this, which is like, there's a new movie coming out with Pedro Pascal. I don't know what it is, but it's about him in like Oakland in the 80s fighting against like gangs and stuff. And we were watching the trailer and it's got like, and I was like, what is, like, this movie feels too try hard, right? Like, what is it about this that's wrong? And Cider went, it's the fact that they're looking at the 80s and they're going, oh yeah, I like that aesthetic. I like neon lights. I like teased hair. I like starter jackets. And that's where they stop. So it's just a costume. And that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at just, I don't know who this character is, but it's somebody wearing a costume of Peter Parker, of Spider-Man. And, I think that's really all I have to say about where Spider-Man is right now. Again, Ultimate Spider-Man rules. Go read that book. That is where you're getting your good Spider-Man. I will say, what was I going to say? I was going to add one more thing here. And I guess I am sort of just blanking on it. But yeah, there's not a lot of, we're not going to get any good Spider treatment until we see massive regime changes over at Marvel. And considering that Brevoort's only like 60 or like late 50s, it's probably not happening for a long time. But you're not wrong, Subhuman. It's lame, it's dumb, and I think all of us here know exactly why they're doing it. Pardon me. Let's see. Yeah, exactly, Sakura. A Spider-Man comic without Spider-Man is like Power Rangers without creativity. I mean, they're not ignoring Spider-Man. That's not what this is. I totally see how that came across. What they're doing is they're putting a focus in the next Amazing Spider-Man volume on Peter's younger years. So like this is a page from that first issue and, drawn by Pepe Larraz, who's one of Marvel's best artists. So they're going to have like, the superheroing, and then the human element of it all is going to be looking back at Peter's middle school years, which is like, we need to move forward, right? To bring up something I don't even really like anymore, but like Star Wars. Okay, like they keep making all of these movies in the gap between episodes 6 and 7, or all these shows, all of everything. They just keep playing in there, and it's like, cool. Can we move on? Like, does any of this mean anything? No? Like, all right then. Then I guess we're done here. Sub says Peter is like that one person. Look at that. See Subhuman. There it goes. There it went right off the. It went right off the side. Hold on. Let me bring you in for everybody. Yes, Subhuman says Peter is like that one person at the high school reunion. Everyone is married with kids and has a career, while he hasn't acknowledged nothing. Everyone is moving forward. He's just stuck in one place. Exactly. And like, does that isn't the type of person I see, like, I want to root for, or I think is like somebody I want to keep following every day in their adventures. Maybe if he got his life together and in a month I could be like, oh yeah, let's follow that guy. But right now I'm like, all you keep doing is shooting yourself in the foot for no reason. Like if Peter was a real person, we would not be here. We would not have him tossing away his marriage or going and blowing up Parker Industries and being stupid like that. Like it's a what do you call it? Like a story of idiots or whatever that's called, where everybody has to act stupid in order for it to happen. Yes, Chuck. Unfortunately, Andrew is MIA again. He is being super, super cool. He is out seeing, I don't know what he's doing tonight, but I know he's been seeing some people. He's been doing a lot of work. Yeah, he just sent me a text before a little bit before the show went, and he's like, I can't make it. And I'm like, that's cool. I totally get it. Don't even trip. He's alive. He's good. I do talk to him. He's just super swamped and super social because he's super, super cool. Yeah, so let's see. Where do we go from here? What do we got? let's see. Let's see. So I do want to address this really quick. This point about the All-New Venom. I won't get too much into it because All-New Venom is one of the headline books that we read here at Foil Variant. So I know Andrew has a lot of thoughts on it. I mean, come on, guys, we've already talked. Are you surprised about that? But I do want to talk about something that related to it. Just really quick before we move on. So as Sakura here says, my what if MJ was Venom is better than Marvel's shit take. Let's see. Where is the comic book one? All right. So, we're still on Ultimate. So in case you guys haven't seen the news, after 5 long months, not long, I'm just being dramatic, but after 5 months, 5 issues of the All-New Venom, which spun out of Venom War, we finally have the reveal of who is wearing the symbiote right now. If you guys remember, this was a big sort of the selling point of the book, which was who's wearing the suit? Is it Rick Jones? Is it Robbie Robertson? Is it Luke Cage? Or is it Madam Mask? Andrew and I, we've held since pretty much issue 1, or even before issue 1 during the solicits, it's going to be neither of them. We were right. It turned out, thankfully, it wasn't Paul, which is what a lot of people thought it was going to be. It turns out to be MJ. Now, this is the reveal on the last page of the latest issue of All-New Venom number 5. What's going on, Tehillim? How are you doing? We are talking comics. It's not comic talk without you. Now, a lot of people are going, this is stupid. This is, woke. Oh, Marvel's out of ideas. Look at Marvel. Of course, they got to feminize everything, blah, 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 blah. And I just want to put this out here. I soundly reject all of that, because if you actually are reading the Venom line, and you've been reading the Venom line for, the last, I don't know, gosh, it's been since Donny Cates started, you'll know that this is a normal, natural evolution to the Venom character, right? They're not randomly pulling out, Betty Brant and saying, look, Betty is the best All-New Venom or anything like that. There is a very good story that is being told in these books, starting, I would say if you really want the core of it, read Ewing's Venom run that's currently going, and then, I think that run ended. Yeah. The last Venom run by Ewing, which leads into Venom War. Read all that, because this, to me, all makes sense. And when I got it confirmed, I went to Andrew and I went, I am about this. I want to see where this goes, because there's actually a lot you can do here with Mary Jane wielding the symbiote. In particular, the one thing I bring up a lot is I want to see what this interplay, how it involves and how it addresses the fact that MJ is terrified of symbiotes from back in the day when they were married and Venom invaded their home and kidnapped her and all of this stuff. She's so scared of symbiotes that that's why Pete gave up the black cloth costume, because she was like, I see it, I think of it, I can't do this. I need you to change. And so he put on the classic red and blues. So what we're seeing here, I'm excited to see what we do, because I'll play devil's advocate. A lot of people go, why doesn't Eddie have the symbiote? Why doesn't Dylan have the symbiote? Why doesn't, Cletus have the symbiote? And they actually address all of that, in the books, right? Eddie is dying and he can't be connected to the symbiotes. He's been severed from the hive. Cletus is basically just like a rotting husk in the street right now. Dylan they separated because Venom was being melted by an anti-symbiote weapon, and since Dylan is half symbiote, it would kill him too. So there's a lot of stuff that's in play here. This is a really good moment to, for all of us. If you are somebody out there who saw this and immediately just went, oh my God, woke, oh my God, they're liberal, whatever. If you had that sort of, exasperated reaction just off the jump, I invite you to breathe, right? Because that's not what's happening here. And if you take that energy is too much of what is wrong with all of our hobbies right now from any ideology, whether you're more right-leaning by American standards or left-leaning. The leap to judge something because you saw one thing and you think you know exactly what it is without doing even a small bit of research into what's going on. And I'm not saying this is anybody here. This is, now I'm sort of like expanding it out to general people, you know, a lot of the video game scoopers in our sphere or whatever. Like, nobody interrogates anything. They all react. And if we all just sat and for a second and gave, you know, an earnest, tell me what's going on here, we wouldn't be so mad. Things wouldn't be so awful. And we would, you know, we would be able to discover more things that are rad. Because if I just reacted to the fact that, oh, MJ's Venom now, that's woke. And you guys know I would never do that because I don't use that word. I hate that word. It's a useless word. I would be missing out on one of the better books that Marvel is putting out right now. From here, it really is. The thing is, it's not the reveal. It's not just like Venom and MJ, that's fine. It really depends on what Ewing does with it next. If he handles it well, awesome. If he handles it bad, it's going to be bad. But the base idea of MJ and Venom is pretty good. It's pretty on track. I'd rather have Yandere MJ after Peter removed the symbiote. I mean, we all want, you know, MJ to go back to Peter and all that fun stuff, but this is a case of playing our cards where they lie, right? Like, what I really appreciate about this is that I'm sort of just glad that that Ewing is giving MJ sort of the proper respect, because the MJ we've been seeing over in Amazing since Zeb Wells took over is not a good, like, it's not our MJ, and she's just sort of not a good person. You know what I mean? Like she's very quick to chastise. She's very unwilling to talk and work things over with Peter, and not like work their relationship back together, but just generally, like, you know, clear the air about whatever might be going on between them. And so now we're getting an MJ who's capable, who cares about the people in her life. If you remember, Andrew and I really, really loved the Venom War Spider-Man tie-in because Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing basically ignored all of the Paul stuff. And they were just like, we're going to talk about how much Peter and MJ love each other. So I really hope a lot of that stuff might come rearing its head back. But as we were talking with Subhuman a second ago, unfortunately, I think Nick Spencer gave us the best shot we had of undoing all of that. If you guys read his run, it's not the best, most interesting run. I enjoyed it. You get to the end with like Kindred and it gets really, really like, what are we doing here? But overall, it was enjoyable. It's got its moments. But what he really tried to do was link them back together, make One More Day like a thing of the past. And that's where that run ends. Right before Zeb Wells takes over, that run ends with Peter and MJ back to get like in a relationship, kissing on like the top of the Empire State Building. It's a great shot. Let me see if I can actually find it, because I've used it very, very, very recently. Oh yeah, there it is. Cool. Oh, my dogs are barking crazy, so I apologize, guys, if anything comes over. But like, this is where they were right before Zeb Wells took over. And then they went, no, we can't have that. Zeb Wells, introduce Paul. So a lot of dealing with the big two comics nowadays is playing the hand you're dealt with. And it's just an unfortunate fact of where we are. Hey, Punk, going to bed. Adios, amigo. No, adios to you. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for stopping by. I know our schedules have been whack over here at Foil Variant, but the fact that you guys are still hanging out with us every week means the world to us. I will see you soon, Punk. Get some good sleeping in. I'm kind of jealous. I'm a little tired today myself. All right, let's see. Let's move on to more comic book related news. Now, this one's a bit of a personal bent, but personal for both me and Andrew, and sort of relevant to the entire Foil Variant show. But unfortunately, guys, like this series, I don't even know how to preface this because it sucks so hard. But unfortunately, we one second. sorry, I had a message to shoot over. Two's my mother. But so yeah, I really don't know how to preface this because this is like, it's such a bummer, and really all I can do is like metaphorically weep because so Things from Another World. You guys may have heard me and Andrew talk about the site a lot. This is where Andrew and I would pre-order things. You know, we try to get our main stacks from our local comic book shops, but local comic book shops, they only get so many. Andrew and I can't always make it, you know, at open on a Wednesday, and sometimes they just don't order some of the covers we want. So we would always go to Things from Another World, or TFAW, as we like to shorten it, which is, it's not like that's original from us. It's just, you may have heard us refer to it as that. We go to TFAW and we place our pre-orders for the things we know, like the variants we know we're going to want, you know, special order things. I don't know if Andrew special ordered anything through them, but like I got my DC Marvel omnibuses, both the amalgam one and then just the crossover versus one. I got those through TFAW for mad discounts. Like I don't even know how much they're going for, like $400 now. I got mine for like $90, like both, like each of them $90 each, because one of the great things about TFAW is that they pass the savings on to the customer essentially, right? Like if you I've talked about this before, but if you pre-order a book early in advance, you can get 30% off its cover price. And then if you pre-order it, you know, in the next window, once the order cutoff comes down, you get 10% off. But that 30% makes books sort of affordable, right? Where you get a $10 or $11 foil variant, that issue turns to $7, right? Which is like fantastic. Like, of course I'm going to splurge and get a bunch of that. This site was surprisingly, I didn't know this until a couple months ago, and both me and Andrew were very surprised, but this site is actually a subsidiary of Dark Horse Comics, and not just the site. Things from Another World has like 4 physical store locations. So for some reason, this comic book retail company is owned by Dark Horse. I have been unable to find how that happened. I'm kind of curious. I don't think there's anything shady, guys. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying like, ooh, it was underhanded. Ooh, look at them, you know, disrupting the market. This is just one of those sort of curiosities, like business curiosities, where I just want to be like, huh, how did you end up like owning Dark Horse Comics, sort of, or how did you end up owning Things from Another World? Sort of like my favorite example is Nintendo. They, for those who don't know, Major League Baseball, they own the team, the Seattle Mariners. And they've owned them for like, or not, they don't major own them anymore. I think now it's just a partial or majority. They used to own all of them, not anymore. But they've owned them for like years. And it's just like, how did that happen, right? That and then that story is interesting because it's just like, well, Nintendo's headquarters was in Seattle. Seattle needed a sponsor. They said, hey, why not? And they've stuck ever since. In fact, I want to show you guys this really quick because it's just funny to me. Oh, there it was. Yeah, just speaking of that Mariners thing, in case you guys haven't seen this, next season, the Mariners are putting sponsored Nintendo patches on their jerseys. But I always just laugh because this Switch 2 one over here on the right is just, who thought that was aesthetically like a good idea? Who thought that looked great? Like, that's just, it's so lazy, gaudy. It just makes me laugh. But I digress. So yeah, Things from Another World, surprisingly owned by Dark Horse Comics. They announced yesterday that they will be closing next week. Well, technically the end of the month, but next week is the last week they are holding or they are fulfilling pre-orders. Their physical stores are still going to stay open, but no more online retail. They haven't given a reason why. So I can't tell you why they're shutting down. Potentially speculate that it has to do with just economic conditions in general. Yes, the tariffs and everything, but you know, even more than that, like that's just an element of it. There's still just the stagnation in wages in America. There's inflation in America. There's you know, people are having to be more selective with their spending, and they can't just, you know, frivolously spend it on comic books all the time. So whatever reason, as long as it's a valid one, I would understand it. If they're just saying like, we don't want to cheap out anymore to you bastards, then I'm going to be like, what the heck? But overall, I'm super bummed. It just means that Andrew and I now have to go find another place to do our pre-orders, hope that that place is good, and rebuild from there. What I'm particularly worried about, guys, is I've had books ordered out through June. I think June is the newest solicit catalog to come out. Maybe May. Damn it, Andrew, where are you? You would know that. Whoa, that was a gross burp. Pardon me again. And again. But hold on. Oh man. Sakura, I did just see your message in the foil variant Discord about DMC. I think we'll save that for tomorrow on Good Mav Ugly. That's more, DMC, Dante, anime, video games. That's more of a Good Mav Ugly topic. Too much of a digression for tonight's show, but don't worry, we will speak about it. But yeah, so I had books ordered out to like June, July. Now I've got to scramble and hope that I can still get some of them. Luckily, nothing big. I am sort of very thankful, or I guess it's not thankful, but one of the serendipitous things about this closure timeline is that at the very least, we were able to get the Absolute books, right? Like those. So in physical stores, the Absolute series, particularly number ones, those things are selling like fucking like wheat cakes with cocaine in them. Like they fly off the damn. I literally like go into some days I'm able to go into my shop maybe like 10 or 15 minutes after they open because I'm at the gym. I get done at the right time. I can just drive right over. I say hi to the guys, blah, blah, blah. Every time I've gone in, every copy of whatever Absolute book releases that week, gone. Except for, random variants and that stuff. So I'm at the very least thankful that or at least me, I don't know what Andrew ordered, but I was able to get all of the foil variants, for the Absolute series before the store shut down. And yeah, it's just a bummer, right? Like we want more comic book stores and more comic book retailers to be successful. We don't, I don't want these, how do I put this? The word I want to use is hub, right? At least in my experience, when I go to comic book shops, they are often either really close to or also part of like a gaming store, right? You buy your comics, you buy your figures, and you go in the back and you play some Yu-Gi-Oh, you play some Pokemon. That, I think we should have more space. Like, I want more spaces like that. I think we are seeing a lot more gaming spaces, at least in America. I know I've seen a lot of, tap house, card game board stores pop up across the country. There's a couple in my area. So, like, I don't want these institutions to go because, like, there's a sort of cultural pride to it almost. Like, yeah, that's a thing for us. Like, we can go there. I know I can go there and hang out and find something I might think is cool. If I go shopping with my sisters and my mom or whatever, and we go somewhere random, I know if I see a comic book store, I'll at least see something cool in there. So just anytime I see a game store or a comic book store or anything that has to do with any of our hobbies shut down, it really bums me out. The exception to that is like GameStop. I don't really give a shit about GameStop. They can kind of kiss my ass. They're not like a good company just in general. There's literally no defense you can give. It was so fun. Like, anecdote, I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple months ago, or not even a couple months, like right when Trump got re-inaugurated into the office, it was either right after re-inauguration or right after he won the election back in November. The CEO for GameStop came out and was like, I'm putting up GameStop's operations in Canada for sale. Like, if you want, like, it's like putting up GameStop operations in like Canada and France. Interested parties can get a sweet deal on like wokeness, DEI, blah, blah. And I was just like, this is so pathetic because you know that nobody's buying that. But then I saw like, you are trying to use words that your base, like you think would be appealing, but we still don't like you. And so like, it was crazy seeing so many people trying to like justify, yeah, let's go shop at GameStop because the guy said one good thing that they agree with. Funny times. But yeah, good. Farewell, TFAW. I will see you in my dreams. I can't believe after more than 25 years they're shutting down. If you want anything from them, guys, they are having a mad sale. You might have seen here, 45% off on backstock. That goes from everything from singles to trades to toys to manga. Just if there's something you're looking for, give it a shot. And yeah, rest in peace. Like it is a genuine bummer. Tehillim says, Marvel acting like Disney. Let's emasculate the Spider-Verse. Not entirely sure what topic you're talking about there right now. If it's Venom, we did just talk about that right before you came in. I like MJ being Venom for a variety of reasons. Most of all, that it works with where we are currently in the story. Aside from that, I don't even really know what else they're doing with a female Spider-Man, aside from probably, well, they have that awful TVA series still going with Spider-Gwen, right? Like, who cares? Ugh, that book is so bad. But let's see, where are we? All right, let's get into what we all came here for, bro. No, I'm kidding. We've already been into what you've all been here for, which is Spencer bitching about Spider-Man, and somewhere in that big blue yonder, Andrew is getting that like feeling. He's like, I know the show I co-host is being run very stupidly because I'm not there to summarize things and make it all sound smart. I know this. And you know what? I'll take that insider win. All right, let's see. So, with all that, let's transition into more of the Mav solo mini-series portion of the stream. Maybe in the future I'll make some sort of fun graphic. But let's talk some video games. Let's talk Marvel video, or not Marvel, but comic book video games. In case you guys are joining us a little bit later, that is the format going forward that I think we're going to stick with. When Andrew is unavailable, I will at least be doing a solo stream where I will play some sort of comic book related video game, whether it's Marvel Rivals, Injustice, Marvel vs. Capcom, Arkham games, Superman 64, whatever it happens to be. That's what we'll do when we're all hanging out together. Of course, you'll still get your regular comic book discussion, but because we can't really like deep dive into issues because Andrew's not there, yeah, unfortunately, I don't want to talk about things without him. That's the point of having a co-host. If I didn't want his opinion, we would just be talking about this on Good Mav Ugly still, right? But yes, so here we are. Let's transition into, I keep wanting to say Marvel video games, but it's not. Let's just transfer into comic book video games. Oh yes, Zero Dozer says, Wolf wishes he could be here for this. Buddy, this is what I've been waiting for. So for those of you who don't know, I love Marvel Rivals. I've been playing it since it launched. I've been super invested in its development. Thank God it is actually fun to play. It's the developers actively care. We'll get into that in a little bit. But for the longest time, for the last 5-6 months, I've been urging Andrew, like, you've got to get in on this, man. Like, I know you like multiplayer games. He and I have played Fortnite together before. And I'm like, this game, as you guys might remember from the last solo stream, this game is just a giant love letter to comic books. From, like gameplay aside, just the designs, the models, the aesthetics, the sounds, the effects, the little details in the lore. Like, it's all, you can tell everybody there loves comic. They love what they're working on. They don't think, it's not like a lot of Western Hollywood types who go, ugh, I'm working on like a Marvel thing. Okay, let's try to make this something serious. Everybody over there in China on NetEase's team is like, fuck yeah, I get to make a game with Spider-Man. Let's go, dog. Like, I love Spider-Man. We've talked about this before. It's the big East-West divide between fiction and infantilization. It sucks, but it's where we're at. But I digress. Going back to our good friend Andrew. Yeah, for the last couple of months, I've been trying to get him to play. He's been super busy, as you guys can obviously tell. RIPPAVERSE has been having mad amounts of launches. I'm super proud of him. I'm super happy for them over there. I do feel, though, I do have a bit of a worrying mother I'm starting to develop because, like, I feel every week I get a message from Andrew on like Monday or Thursday or whatever, whether we have a show or not, where he's like, I got to get up at 4 a.m. or I was up at 4 a.m. for a launch. And I'm like, good for you guys for doing well, but stop waking up at 4 a.m. Like this, that pains me to understand, because yeah, you'll be up and you'll be able to smooth out all the things with the pre-order launches, but then you're going to be exhausted for the rest of the day. But with all of that, I have been urging him, come play with me, come play with me. And now, as Zero has brought up, he has no excuse. So today, we finally got the reveal trailer for the upcoming second season of Marvel Rivals. It will be based on the Hellfire Gala. It'll be introducing a lot of Krakoa era elements and stuff, including a new hero. As you can see there, she's right dead center. She's in the thumbnail for this episode. Emma fucking Frost is finally here, right? That is Andrew's #1 waifu. Literally, guys. So I woke up this morning. I went to the gym. I was doing all my stuff. I saw this announcement come out. My instinct was to run over and share it with Andrew and be like, look, finally, get your white ass in here and play with me. I went into our Discord server and I went to the game section, and I already saw Andrew like freaking out, sharing everything. And I just went, you know what? He doesn't need, like, he's already seen it. He's having his excitement. Let him control the excitement right now. Like, this is his moment. And I like eventually he came to me and he's like, I guess I'm in. I guess I have to play now. And I was like, I've been waiting. But yes, let's take a look at what we're about to get, because I know.
To all our new guests from across the timelines, I welcome you to the Hellfire.
Let me know if the trailer is overpowering me. I want you guys to hear it, but again, we're just trying to work out volume.
Welcome one and all to Krakoa. This living island may be a sovereign mutant nation,
Krakoa
but
era
tonight,
of
our
the
home
X-Men comics
is yours.
is controversial. to say
Honored
the least.
guests,
Now,
I propose a toast.
On
to
our end over
Krakoa.
here,
There are
discussions
no
Andrew and I have had,
rivals. Man and mutant.
Andrew is not. So how do I put this? Andrew is not a fan of the overall Krakoa arc, and I agree with him, except I think that the beginning of the Krakoa arc had a lot of potential. When Jonathan Hickman, the guy who's currently on Ultimate Spider-Man, he's about to write Material, one of the best writers in the game right now, when he was on the book, the Krakoa saga, or like when he was on that storyline, because they went through a bunch of different books, he was really good about building, showing us that, yeah, this is what the X-Men are doing, but it's not all good. Like, it's actually kind of terrifying when you think of like super powered people making an ethno-state, or just like an ethno-state in general, or to like forcefully make an ethno-state. Like, he was exploring a lot of that, what it means to be a mutant in this world, in this like thing. It was a very, very deep exploration of what all of this was supposed to mean. Unfortunately, he's a lot smarter than most of Marvel's stable of writers, in particular their newer, younger writers. And so when I forget why he left. I think he, like, when he left the original, I need to check one thing here, because who wrote, did he come back for Fall of X? Let's check that. Oh, it's written by various people. Okay, yeah, he didn't come back for that. But after Hickman left, after he left the Krakoa stuff, that's when they put all of these really inexperienced, really immature writers on, and to them, they saw what he was building, and instead of going like, oh, ethno-state based on like, your race, very, very dangerous, very, very bad, maybe not the best idea. And they went, ooh, woo, my small mutant babies, they finally aren't oppressed anymore. Yay, social justice. And they played that concept earnestly, or not earnestly, but like they framed it as, it's good, it's great. And it wasn't. Hickman was setting up a horror story. So the Krakoa era is complicated. Now, what we're seeing here is what I believe is, this is what I love about adaptation media. Sort of, video games like Marvel Rivals, or something like Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, where when you're these productions, and theoretically the MCU, but God, that's a disaster of its own making. These productions have the entire swath of Marvel's 60, 70-year history, right, available to them. So while, let's say, like, it seems very, very weird and truncated, and there's a lot of steps for us to get from something like, you know, Atlantis attacks to the arrival of Galactus to the Annihilation Wave to the Guardians of the Galaxy to Civil War to Secret Invasion, that takes a long time, and you have to do a lot of leaping through holes and retconning, and things can get messy in the comics. But because they're all rolling with that continuity, right? But in these adaptations, you're able to say, like, what are all the cards we have to play with? Okay, we're going to put them in sequential order like this, and this is how it's all going to work. And you can make them flow together from the beginning. And you can use the concepts more, I don't want to say more properly, but more effectively. That's the right word, right? My favorite example, again, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, is the first season of Earth's Mightiest Heroes sort of opens with the original Avengers comics, you know, seeing everybody's origin stories, Cap coming out of the ice. Then they have I believe it's just like a fight against Hydra. They sort of, they take a little tinge from the MCU and they throw that into, this is how we all unite. This is the fight the Avengers have to do. Let's go. Then in the second season, they start getting into AIM, and then you get into Secret Invasion, where it's just revealed that, like, oh, Cap was a Skrull at one point. They don't have to go through the Civil War, but they have a moment where they all sort of split apart because they disagree. I don't remember what it is, but it's not identity stuff. But that is such a fun, it's so cool to see everything work out, like to make it understandable, if you will, or to make it coherent, where I can get all of the effects of whatever crossover or whatever storyline you're adapting right there, instead of having to jump through 3,000 different issues and then a retcon series later on and then another thing, in 10 years. So what we're seeing here, or what I'm saying to all that, is I think there is something to be done with the Hellfire Gala and Krakoa and all of this part of it, right? I know a lot of people were like, oh, this is stupid. Why are they doing a ball? Why are we doing fashion? This is comic books. And I actually do understand that, and I agree with them to a certain extent. The whole big emphasis Marvel was putting on the 3 Hellfire Galas, in particular, like the first 2, was way too much like you're trying to get an audience that, like, doesn't care, and you're alienating who you care about. Because a lot of that first Hellfire Gala was like, look at all the costumes, look at all the designs, we're going high fashion. And it's like, but what does that have to do with anything we're doing here? That said, I do like the idea of, this big mutant ethno-state holding a big diplomatic sort of ball like this with everybody dressing up and getting fancy costumes. I just don't think it has to be your big emphasis point of everything. We don't need promo campaigns for it. You should just have it happen, right? And that's sort of where I come in here, using the aesthetics, I guess. And I say I guess because I don't know what the story lore element of this is going to be, because everybody who shows up in this game, completely new lores. Like, we don't know them. They're all from different worlds. Like the Captain America looks like our Cap. His backstory is he was thawed in 2099 instead of 2009 or 1960, whatever time it is nowadays. Or Black Widow, who instead of just being a regular KGB agent, she has the super soldier serum because she was in that 2099 world without a Cap, and she needed to lead the Avengers. So I actually personally
all our new guests
like
from
what we're
across
seeing
the
here.
timelines. I
And
welcome you to the Hellfire
I'm
Gala.
just excited about it because this feels like the right way you would use this concept.
Welcome one and
I don't
all
know.
to
I think a
Krakoa.
lot of what gets me
This
about
living
this is that
island
even though
may
this
be a
concept might not
sovereign
be
mutant
the
nation,
most popular,
but tonight
they're still
our home is yours.
going, like, they're giving it their all.
Honored guests,
So
I
that
propose a
turns
toast
a lot of perspective to me, and that makes me go like, oh yeah, look at that.
Here
Like, it's
there
not
are no
all that bad.
rivals.
Like okay, I can get
Man
behind
and
Krakoa nowadays. Like, see, this is how Krakoa should be. Your Hellfire Gala should have maybe been like a one thing, and it gets invaded. I mean, I know that's what happened after Hellfire Gala 3, But I digress. All I'm trying to say is, while this next season is using Coachella and the Hellfire Gala as their setting, that to me doesn't immediately set me off. Like, it doesn't put me off of Marvel. I'm not immediately like, oh god. And I'm not saying that's what anybody else is saying. I'm not saying that about you guys. I'm just speaking on my own personal end. I'm kind of excited to see what we get in terms of maps, in terms of outfits, in terms of just everything. Like, these are some okay outfits. Cap's fine. T'Challa's pretty royal. I like Black Widow. She looks very futuristic. Hawkeye looks interesting. I don't know if I completely agree with that one.
Krakoa, this living island.
Right? There's Magneto and his like
And
King
maybe a
Vegas
sovereign
outfit.
mutant
Luna gets a new
nation.
thing. Patch, we
But
get a new Patch
tonight,
skin.
our home is yours.
Loki, oh, that was already in there. But then, and
Honored
then, yes,
guests,
this is the
I
big
propose
reveal,
a
or the
toast
big point.
to
We are
Krakoa.
finally getting
Here there
Emma
are no
Frost
rivals.
in
Man and
Marvel
mutant.
Rivals. Now, she was leaked as a character way back when this game first went live. What do you call it? Like the data files and stuff. And this is the first time we've gotten anything official, and it comes in the form of a trailer, which means she's in. I'm ridiculously excited. I think she looks fantastic, guys, and especially with like, I think I said this before when this game first came out. But okay, no, I say this a lot about Fortnite, but now I can apply it to Marvel Rivals. With Fortnite, I always hold that every character that appears in that game is always treated way better than they are in their source materials for like the last 10 years. Daredevil looks amazing in that game in his regular comic book outfit. Didn't have to go through a bunch of MCU lines and a She-Hulk cameo, or what else is in there? Master Chief. He looks fantastic in Fortnite. He's super accurate. Even the Warthogs. Halo 5 and Halo Infinite are kind of ass. Marvel Rivals is sort of that same sort of game where a lot of characters right now are just getting eternally crapped on by Marvel. But here, they're getting sort of the due respect, like the respect that they're due. We all know that, one of the books that we were reading here, we've dropped, was that Exceptional X-Men disaster, which is where we were going for our Emma Frost fix. They relegated her to maybe like, we are 6 issues into that book. She's had less than a issues worth of full page time. And I mean just any panel with her in it. If you took them all from what we've had so far, less than an issue of Emma time. And yet, what do we get here? We get an incredibly like designed Emma where like she's in her white queen sort of outfit. She's got her diamonds. She's got the X's. She's got her thighs showing off. Like, she looks so good. And how do I transition this? And it's not even just like aesthetically, right? This is another thing I love about Rivals. Whoops, that was the same link. That's not what I wanted. Is that every character, like I was saying, is treated with the utmost, like, they dig into their lore. They say, what is this character capable of? And they say, let's have fun with it, instead of just like the most basic thing you could think of. And nowhere does that apply more than here with Emma. So here is, thankfully, Emma is not a healer, which is what I was really worried about. Because right now, with Emma, if Emma was a healer, that would have made 3 healers who were blonde white women with white projectiles and white and blue costumes. Because that's what Dagger has, that's what Sue Storm has, and that's what Emma has now. Thankfully, she's a different role, so that'll help differentiate it a little bit. But still, I'm all about it, but visually, just in terms of gameplay, we need a little variation here, NetEase, because I get confused on the battlefield when I'm trying to differentiate who's who. But yes,
The
Emma
White
Frost with her
Queen's reign
amazing
begins.
default outfit, her kit, bonkers. She is a Vanguard, which means she is the main tank class.
You deserve
She has
that,
some sort
dear.
of constant beam that looks like a mix between Moira from Overwatch and Scarlet Witch and Dagger from Cloak from this game. She has a shield that she can throw up, a diamond shield, which is
were
very,
beneath
very
me.
nice, very similar to Magneto's force field. We also have her diamond form, which rules, makes her super resilient to damage or knockback or any of that stuff. And this move, look, I love this. It is a grapple move that can launch. And I love launch moves because right there, where she launches Mr. Fantastic off, it's the best feeling in the world to get somebody off. Like, the other night, I was Sea Storm, and I pushed 2 people off the ledge.
That's white.
And then, yeah, there's her ultimate. I'm not sure what it means, but it looks like she mind controls people. I don't know if it was your control. That, like,
That's
there's
white
some video
queen
games you get hit
mind
by
control.
that. It's such a move, your controls reverse. Not sure if that's what's happening here, or if it does something like the character affected will automatically run off the closest ledge. Either way, I kind of hope it's the latter, because that's like way more unique and something we haven't seen before. Not just in Rivals, but in any sort of multiplayer game like this, right? The actual mind controlling of like, okay, mind control, go jump off of a cliff. So overall, we are eating very, very good at this game. I understand that hero shooters are not for everybody. So if you're not playing this game, I'm not judging anybody for their personal taste. I'm not judging anybody for not wanting to check anything out. I will recommend heavily that if you love hero shooters or if you love Marvel, give this game a shot. Because even if you just play it for, if you're, let's say you're a Marvel fan, right? Like a comic book fan. Let's say you're somebody like Sub or freaking Punk or I don't know if he's in here tonight or if he'll stop by later or if he'll be watching this in the VOD, but you guys know Clone Geek, one of our dedicated viewers. He pops in, from time to time. He actually got his question answered. He submitted a question to Tom Brevoort for his Substack blog, and it was the answer was sort of the big spider story of the week. So shout out Clone Geek and good on you for fighting the MJ Peter marriage fight. You know what I mean? Oh, that's what Clone Geek said. Clone Geek was like, okay, so if you're never going to undo any of this and they're never going to get, and Peter's never going to get married, then nothing matters in these books, right? Like, why should I care? And Brevoort was like, oh no, everything matters because things change for him all the time. And I got into it. He's being Brevoort's being very disingenuous. Things do change for Spider-Man, but they're all very aesthetic things or like surface level things, not core things to his character. He might get a new costume or a new girlfriend, but he doesn't get to grow up. He doesn't get to do anything. He just still is that loser. We already talked about it. But yes, back to Rivals. Even if you are just like a comic book fan, check it out for like a weekend, play all the characters just to see like, man, it came to life. Like that's kind of, I like seeing that character treated well and moving like I almost would imagine in the comic book. So yeah, we also got the news that apparently going forward, we're going to get a new hero every month, which is like, I'm all for it, but you guys have set yourself up with a very daunting goal. I'm not saying they can't do it. I actually, from what I've seen from NetEase, with the amount of care and attention and balance they put into these characters, I kind of trust them more than anyone. That's just a lot of work, guys. It's a lot of work. And I just, you didn't have to promise that. And again, if you can abide by it, yeah, that's going to be awesome. If you can't, we get it. And it's just like, you just didn't have to do this, right? Like, I'm looking out for you, NetEase. But, yeah, I think with all that being said, as I was talking about in the various servers, whether it was Wolf server or the Foil variant server, as I said on Twitter before we went live, because we do not have Wolf here tonight, as we are trying to play more comic book related video games, tonight we will close out the stream. So for the next half an hour or so, let's actually play some Marvel Rivals. You guys might remember we played this 2 weeks ago, whenever the last stream was. It was a kind of choppy experience, but the good news is this is a brand new rig with way upgraded capabilities, way more RAM, way better motherboard, way more responsive CPU. So we are, yep, exactly. Zero's got me right there. Tiny chat. Hit it with them pin particles. Yep, exactly. Zero says, time to check how your new rig will fare. This is so yeah. first off, as I was saying at the beginning of the stream, and to that point, I do want to make a quick apology to Zero and Sakura. I did get a little frustrated, heated at the beginning, and that was completely on me. I know you guys weren't being assholes. That was just me being like annoyed at everything else and taking it out on you. So my bad for that, guys. Truly didn't mean it, and I'm very sorry. But more to the point, as I was saying at the beginning of the stream, this is, Zero, this is the first big test for this rig. This is the first live stream that I have hosted from the box, right? Like Cider is normally the one who's been doing the bounding streams, and I have been, we haven't had a foil variant. We didn't have a good map ugly last week, but here we are. We are trying it out. We will see how this thing goes down. Oh yeah, no, totally good, Sakura. I was just saying, like, I felt mean when I was like, guys, stop. Like, I'll get it. Just let me, like, I got a little immature there, so I'm apologizing on my end. I don't know if you guys took offense or anything. I'm just doing it for my own sanity, if you will. Cool. Yeah. Oh, and then Sakura said right before that, I'm done. Time to share. Whenever you are ready with it, drop it in the server. If I'm in the middle of a match, I might wait until an intermission, but we will take a look at whatever you want to drop for us. Let's see. All right. How do we want to do this? Logging in. Well, first we got to turn the volume back on because the client's been open the entire time, but I don't think you guys wanted to hear the idle menu music for like 2 hours while I bitched behind it, or on top of it rather. There we go. We are in. So, before we get started, I don't know if you guys saw this, and actually this will be pretty cool. I'm gonna put this out to you guys. So, you guys might have seen this on social media. NetEase recently released this bundle. It's called the Pickup Bundle, and it has the main feature is it has a hyper orange Venom like he was in Marvel vs. Capcom, and it also has this new item called a costume coin. So this pack costs $3, super cheap. You get a spray, a nameplate, that awesome Venom skin, and 200 chrono tokens, which are the in-game currency that you spend on mainly your battle pass stuff. There are some other things you can buy with it or convert it into, but regardless, you get those. And this, right, Zero? Dude, as soon as I saw that the costume was Orange Venom, I was like, I gotta do it. Like, I don't even really care about the nameplates or anything. I was like, we're getting an MVC Venom. I gotta get in on this. And you know what actually sucks, Zero, is in the beta, they had the blue Venom from Marvel vs. Capcom. You know what I'm talking about? Like the very, very light blue one, the other alternate color. But it was only available if you got to play in the beta. And it makes me so angry because I'm like, okay, normally I would understand an exclusive skin, but you're locking MVC content, you sons of bitches. Like, how dare you? But what I'm putting forward to you guys is, in this bundle, one of the items I can get is a costume coin, and it lets me redeem it for one of 32 various costumes. And I quickly scroll through them here, and we'll go through them, and I'll show you guys what's up. But here's where I'm stuck, guys. Nobody available, right? Or like none of these costumes are truly for anybody I use, unfortunately. My mains right now are actually like the Fantastic Four, and then who is it? It's Fantastic Four, Penny Parker if I need somebody who can do area of effect like damage with her mines or whatever. Or on the very rare chance that somebody picks Sue, I'll play Cloak and Dagger because I am, at the end of the day, a generic heal slut. So, unfortunately, like none of the four have any costumes that are available in this bundle. And so I don't really know which one I want to pick. So, what we've got here, one costume pretty much per character. I guess, well, like, take a look. We've got some cool things. That's where I'm stuck, right, guys? Like, who do I spend this token on? Because it's going to be somebody I probably don't use that much. So then I'm torn between, like, do I get something that looks really cool just because it's like comic booky? Or do I get something for somebody I might possibly use? For example, this Thor costume is awesome. His Herald of Galactus costume. It has the effect I love where there's like the static background, but it always stays the same no matter where you move on the screen or whatever. But I don't use Thor. You know what I mean? Wolverine here in his Deadpool and Wolverine suit looks great. I don't use Wolverine. Yeah, see, like Wolverine's arguably one of the better ones. Punisher 2099. You know I'm a 2099 nerd. I just don't use Punisher. Like, if we're being completely honest, here's where... So, while we play, I obviously can't keep the entire list up the entire time. It's on Google. You can just search, you know, costume bundle or whatever for Marvel Rivals. If you want to take a look, see what we have available. Right now, because it's so, like, what do I use it on? My 3 top choices, or most likely, are going to be either this Psylocke, which is her comic book one, like her actual 616. Even though I don't use her, it's just like, she looks fantastic. Or it's going to be Luna, because I use her sometimes, and it's kind of a cute outfit. Like, it's not bad. It's not fantastic, but it's not bad. I like that it glows a lot. Or it's going to be Superior Iron Man, because I don't particularly like this run or anything, but I use Iron Man from time to time because he's just sort of fun to fly around with and drop bombs on things, or cannon shots, if you will. So yeah, if anybody out there has any thoughts, let me know. I've genuinely been like stuck on this for a couple days now. These are very cool though. These are new costumes. These this Ronin one for Hawkeye. Yeah, that's pretty sick. And then this is his oh, I like that emote. I actually really like that emote. This is his victory pose. Alright. Not against it. It's just I can't really tell that that's Hawkeye. Which I guess is the point. Here, something is going on with my graphics here. What? No, they're fine. What is... Is that what I want? No. I forget what the frick do I need to do? Oh, I have to do it on my computer end. Hold on. I'm being stupid. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's that slight frame drop, and I'm like, that shouldn't be happening at all. But I think that might be because I've got kind of a lot of things open over here, or just like over on the computer in general. So I'll close a couple browsers that we don't need. Some chat apps we don't need. That should be fine. I don't know. I think it just has to do with like the streaming element of it, Zero, because it does not happen to me when I am in game. And you can even see right here, before we logged on, I tried to lower everything so we wouldn't. I can run this shit at, what is it, like ultra, and it like smooth like butter, but for some reason it's just the broadcasting that's making us lag a little bit. But regardless, I've been talking enough. Let's play. What should we do? Quick match or competitive? Let's start with a quick match so we can warm up, and then we'll try some competitive. Where if you want to see me actually like get gamer mode mad at that's where we gotta head.
Pick your hero or villain. I'm not judging.
Okay, so Sakura, those are great. But since they're tokusatsu related, let's save them for tomorrow, right? Because that's again more of a good map, ugly topic. But I definitely think there's something to what you've shared with us. All right, let's see. Everybody has your. I'm free to pick anybody. Let's be Iron Man, just because I said it. Man, I do miss like B-Fighter Kabuto, Big Bad Beetleborg, whatever name you want to give it.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
So Bandai, they have this line called like the Deluxe Memorial line of toys, which are like very high level quality replicas of their various tokusatsu like props. So like rider belts or Sentai Transformers, and like for example, I have the release of the Kamen Rider Kabuto belt, which it's sadly in a box still because I don't really have a lot of room to take it out and play with it. But as soon as I have like more space, you know I'm going to be wearing that on the screen. But more to the point, they did a release of the B-Fighter Kabuto, like transforming. I forget what they technically call it. And I was so mad that I like missed out on it because I used to love that show more than I loved Power Rangers for a bit, honestly. Like as soon as, when I was a kid, like as soon as Mighty Morphin was sort of on its way out before the movie, I was like, oh, I think I like this one. Well, manga could count, but because it's more tokusatsu oriented, and because we've got like the game going and stuff, I think it'll just work with the flow better if we do it tomorrow. I'm not ignoring it. I don't think it's bad content. We gotta choose our audience. Hopefully someday, maybe me and Andrew can like branch out and start doing more like, oh my god, frick, I'm so dead. Our team is bad. Our team is very, very bad. Like I shouldn't be getting creamed like, we shouldn't be getting creamed like this. But I would love someday to be able to do like manga episodes, like foil variant, or maybe, you know, we make it like
I am ready to put on a show.
Manga or whatever. Like something like that would be super cool. It's just it's all about time. It's all about schedule. Oh my god. Load the game ball. Will do. Thank you for that. There we go. Oh, that's probably a lot better. Yeah. Someday I would love. I wish, in a perfect world, I wish my job could be every day we have some sort of, or maybe not every day because that's a lot, but you know, 3, 4, 5 times a week, we have, you know, manga stream, anime stream, video gaming stream, foil variant. I would love that someday. It's all just about building our audience, building. Oh my God, where is my team? My fucking lord. Oh great, and that's not even our healer. This is bad, man. My team trash. And I'm dead. And I'm dead. And we lose this round like very, very hard. Good lord. I wish someday, guys, someday automatic like matchmaking in video games will get to a point where, how do I put this? There are a lot of times, like, I'm not a bad player. I'm actually pretty damn good, and I can deliver, and I can perform, and I can help my team out, especially if I'm a healer. And yet, I still always get put, whether it's in quick match or competitive, I get put with the dumbest people. Just like people who cannot, I don't know if they can hear me, but I don't want anybody to hear me because I don't want them to think I'm talking about them. But I'm always like, I get linked with just people who don't know what they're doing, who aren't good at the game. And someday I hope they get like in-game skill match or like in-game performance matchmaking, I guess. They're like, I know the issue behind that is that there's like 40 billion metrics you can use for that. Like, did you stay on the point too long? How much is too long for staying on the point? Did you heal on blah, 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 blah. So I get it, but that's just sort of like, that's the dream. So that I could at least get paired with people who are good and try, even if, you know, we might lose, but at least it's a game and it's not just like, oh boy, little Timmy got his first console yesterday. Why did you put me with him after I was like on a 5-game winning streak and about to rank up? Piss off, Doctor Strange! Where are you? Shred him! Wow! Hate this game! I hate Doctor Strange. I'm so glad Doctor Strange is getting a nerf. Like, nerf it faster. Oh, I was pushing the wrong buttons. Frick. Now I'm not. I have to wait for that stupid cooldown. Damn it. Also, guys, I will show this off when we sign off. But in case you didn't see, Jorge Jimenez just launched a art book for his DC work, and it is, oh Lord, it's so pretty. I've already pre-ordered it. I really hope Andrew got his pre-order in because the early bird prices went down like last night. But if you haven't yet and you like Jimenez, I'd say get on this. Like, I definitely think Tehillim would be really interested in it. It's not cheap. Like don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like everybody should go buy it. It is well, it was minimum 90 with early bird pricing. It's probably going to be minimum 100 now that early bird is gone. Oh my God! Piss off. Oh, Sue, I love you. Wow, that was a really good cloak and dagger move right there. That's really upsetting. Like genuinely pretty upsetting.
Another one gone dark. I'm back.
Oh, it's ours this. I didn't realize we had it. I can get behind that. I need to reload. Die, Thor! Oh my goodness. Piss off, Doctor Strange. Oh, I'm about to die so fast. Oh, somebody healed me. I don't know who it was, but I love you. Even though I kind of wasted it. Oh, good. Our Sue has her special. She is ready to go. That's going to be so helpful. Oh! I went in the wrong entrance. And so I didn't get into her special. Lame. Get Doctor Strange. Yeah. Oh my. Oh, I was literally, dude, Zero. I was literally thinking the same thing. Like, this is actually really nice. We aren't cutting up. We aren't lagging. We aren't doing any of that nonsense. This is really nice. It would be nicer if I could do anything as Iron Man, but that's on my ass.
I won't shy away from the fight.
That's me being bad. Let's see. While we wait for this, what should we talk about? Let's see. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. So, obviously, guys, there will be a possibility for more Mav solo or more issues of this Mav solo miniseries as we go forward. We will probably end up having some Andrew solos. We don't know what he'll do for that yet, but with what we want to do here with, you know, comic book video games, is there anything out there, and I put this to anybody watching now, later, whenever, right? Is there anything you want to see me play on these solo streams instead of, well, not instead of, obviously Marvel Rivals is in the mix in case we want some good old-fashioned multiplayer shenanigans. But we've got lots of solo games that have come out over the years. Is there anything you guys haven't checked out that you want to see? Anything you want, you know, sort of my deep dive takes on? For example, like if we played Shattered Dimensions, you know I'm not shutting up about like every bit of production that went into that game. Or if we talk about like Arkham, I'll talk about how they, oh, I shouldn't have done this! Damn it! I used that way too early. I thought that was our Luna who had her thing out. It's okay. We'll get her now. Luna! Where was our Luna? Why wasn't I getting Xenoblade 1? Xenoblade 1 does need to be played, but that is not a comic book game, Zero, you fart. I definitely need to like make time to play that again. Maybe I'll start doing an element of sort of this on Good Map Ugly, where we'll hang out for like 2 hours or something, and then we'll play video games. I don't know. It's all in Malium. That's not even a real term. I just wanted to sound cool. I just wanted to sound cool before I die. See, and I wish I played Hulk because I think for me the Hulk's like gladiator look from Planet Hulk, one of his best that they've ever given him. Just like in general, you can't beat that. Where are our healers? I would like healing. Ugh. Shut up, Jeff! Get Jeff! We saved him! I'm so glad everybody learned that, like, if you hear a Jeff, you go for the Jeff. You don't play around. Like, that is priority numero uno. Boom! 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 Get Luna! Yes! Right before it ran out, we got that Luna hit.
Maximum pulse.
Boom! Thor down. And now we're about to get Jeff. Nope, Jeff's gonna get me. He's definitely gonna get me. I need to heal. I need to stop being stupid. Don't get cocky, Star Fox. Ah! Oh yeah, I definitely got to play Rebirth. Oh, you went off the side. I definitely think Rebirth's gonna be like an off-stream game though, because that one. Our teammates very mad at our, or no, they're mad at our Scarlet Witch. Heck yeah. Yeah, no, I wanna play Rebirth as well. That one's gonna be like an off-stream game because I know that like I want to geek out and be weird about that, and I don't want to have to worry about like chat says move on, because I'm gonna spend like 400 hours reading every little lore bit.
I am ready to put on a show.
I hate you. I mean, the one at the top of my list right now for good experiences that we could play, like here on Foil Variant, I've been mentioning it, but Shattered Dimensions is something I really wanted to revisit. It's been a couple of years since I played it. I also, because I totally forgot this game existed until the other day, but Marvel, or no, not Marvel, X-Men Destiny? Was that it? X-Men, like X Destiny or something? We lost that one? How did we lose that one? We were better than them. Whatever. X-Men Destiny, it was this really bad RPG made by Activision a few years back. Like, it's very bad. And I never played it, but I always wanted to because I really like playing or watching bad things. I feel like I can learn more from them than I can from something good. I forgot it existed, and I got reminded of it the other day, and I'm like, ooh, maybe I play that for the lulz. Yes, you damn it, Zero, all of your messages are going off. Yes, but all right, we're gonna head into competitive now. This depending on how we do here, this might be our last, this might be our second of 3. Who knows? But let's dive in and see what we can do. I need to. Here's the thing. I'm really upset because I can't, that problem I was talking about where I keep getting put with like bad people right when I'm about to rank up, that's been this entire season. And if you can get to a certain rank each season, you get a free skin. And it's not like a big rank. You don't have to get to like the elite diamond one above all levels. You just need to get to like gold, which is just, it's about 2 ranks up from where I am. And I can't get there because my teammates are all ass. But if I do get there, I get a cool Sue Storm skin, which is like, she's my main. So obviously I want to do that. But yeah, so hopefully there's only 8 days left in the season. So hopefully I can do something, and maybe I can just get really lucky, and all of my competitive games are going to be like smash wins. No idea, but let's hope. I do want to actually play that, the new DOA like Venus Vacation, just because what other DOA content are we getting anymore, man? Like we don't get it. And if I have to play the booba dating sim, then by God I'm going to. Speaking of, for my gamers out there, Senran Kagura got, like, on the Japanese Switch 2 stream, they revealed that there's a new Senran Kagura coming with all the touch features and everything, and I'm very stoked about that one. We will be playing that one for sure somewhere along the line.
Spider's plating is made from carbon nanofibers and ceramics.
Wee! 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 Wee!
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3,
2, 1.
You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
All right, guys, this one actually counts. This is where you can start clipping and saying Mab is awful at video games. Because this is the one where I actually care about what we're doing. Oh, man. Oh, this is so bad for me. Whew. Yes! I was so afraid I wasn't gonna get Storm there. Since Storm has way higher attack than I do. Oh, Magneto! With the bubble! Get their tanks.
Clear the way.
Go, Jeff, go! Yeah, Jeff! Oh, and we got Wolverine. What a loser.
I got you covered.
Woo! What if Warner Brothers owned a Marvel and DC during Phase 1? We would have had way worse Marvel movies, that's for dang sure. Like, I know that. Honestly, if that had been the case at this point, instead of like Doomsday or a brand new reboot of the DCU, you know they would have, like, what was it? Sorry, hold on. You know that instead of that stuff, they would be going for like a Marvel versus DC. That would be the big thing they would be beefing up.
I have a shield,
But yeah, we would have definitely had way worse Marvel movies. Marvel and Universal had that sauce in the beginning. I mean, there's a reason we all liked it. There's a reason we all remember all those early movies, even the bad ones. They still had something, which is kind of a little more than I can say about a lot of the DC output. Like, truly, I think the only DC films that I can, like, super get behind, like, part of Wonder Woman and part of Man of Steel. Right? Like, everything else they kind of put out was not great. I know a lot of people liked Aquaman. I hated Aquaman. At the very end of that movie, when you get to the, like, super big underwater war, and it's just all big CGI, like, squids and mollusks, I just had this moment of, like, I had the Seinfeld moment. I was like, I'm done. Like, I immediately went, like, I don't care about this movie. Like, what the hell am I looking at? It's sort of the same feeling, guys, I had with Zack Snyder's Justice League. I've talked about this before, but that's one of, if not the only movie where I've had to, like, pause it and come back, like, the next day to finish it. And if it wasn't for the fact that it A, is something I needed to watch for work, and B, is something we all watch in this sphere, I don't even think I would have come back to it. But, like, I got, like, 2 hours into that thing, and I just went, this is a CGI mess. Like, this is just a mess. No, are they going to unlock it at the last second? We can't let them do it. Go, Wolverine. Come on, come on, come on, come on. We're not fast enough. Fuck. We almost had a super quick, easy win. I was trying to drop my special. Damn it. Now they've got it. Now they've got it. They really should have just kept, like, Universal on board for the Marvel, like, for the MCU. Oh yeah, if Disney didn't have Marvel, like, for that, they're in way dire straits, Sakura. Like, if they don't have that big revenue boom from Marvel, the MCU specifically, damn it, I always forget that's a dead end. If they don't have that back in, what is that, 2007, 8, like if they don't start building it then, I don't think you start see them taking stupid risks like a bunch of live action remakes. I think they're cocky. Like they thought they could ride the MCU forever, and that's sort of their like, oh well, if I lose money on this one, at least we have the MCU. Like that was probably what they always thought, and now they're not there. So they would be way worse off without that stuff. Although I will say something, you know, oh my. They killed me before I could get my special off. There was a second window where Sue is vulnerable during the launch of her ult, and they got me in it. Are you fucking joking? But if Marvel, if they didn't have Marvel, I think that we would have at least, in one positive, I think the theme parks might have seen a lot more effort. You know, go check out my friends over there at That Park Place, specifically the T3PO show, where Vash and you know, a rotating panel of guests talk about the latest developments in the parks. They, you know, from everything I've sort of learned from talking to them and reading their stories and whatnot, that like quality is way down over at everything on the parks. So I think if they had to, if they didn't have to rely on super, how do I put this? Like, look at Avengers Campus, right? That is a lot. It's really just branding. They didn't really, you know, put in any like revolutionary Imagineering stuff. They didn't really, oh shit, what is that? I need to run. I'm so dead. I can't fight a penny on my own. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's like no crazy Imagineering stuff. There's no original really like experiences or stories they try to tell in there. And I think because they went like, oh, we can just do, you know, just dress a guy up like Star-Lord, they got super lazy and they went like, oh, I don't need to put in effort over here. Like, we can just dress him up. And I think that ethos, unfortunately, sort of spread throughout the rest of the parks because, yeah, things are really, really bad right now. And I'm not even just talking about this sucks. I don't know what happened, but this sucks. Like, they should not be making this push. Our team should be able to stop them. Oh, they have a really crazy Winter Soldier. That's why. Fuck. Oh my. I hate this game. I hate multiplayer games.
Thought you wouldn't see me again.
I hate. Well, I'm gonna do the Peter. I hate multiplayer games. Sounds like somebody else's problem. Go give me some more walnuts. You got walnuts? Oh my goodness, guys! Thank you. Get him! Brave Exodus and Xenoblade X possessed me. Dude, you should stream Xenoblade X. I'd be in to watch that. Well, I actually might not watch you play X because I know of all the Xenoblade games, that's like the most Mavcore. Even Andrew like reminded me earlier today. He's like, dude, you got to get in this, please. And I'm like, I'm trying, man. Give me my temporary cancer. I have my special, dude. I need to get over there and use it. And if it doesn't go off, I'm gonna be. They did it.
The current score is 0-2-3.
I'm never getting out of this rank,
Time to
bruh.
switch things up.
I'm never getting out of this rank.
Side you're on.
I'm even a character I'm good with, and I'm never getting out of this rank. I swear. I swear.
You'll need a top-notch
I swear.
team to win this one.
Okay, while we're waiting for this, I remembered I wanted to talk about this, but I got distracted. But quick, while the game is loading, earlier last week, this book came out. It's called Doom's Division. It's basically part of the one world under Doom. Doom's assembled sort of like a Well, they're in Marvel Comics in Korea. There is a team of superheroes called Tiger Division, and in this book, Doom, because he controls the world now, he starts like a Pan-Asian Tiger Division. So instead of just Korea, it's you got Wave from the Philippines, Arrow from China, Karma from Vietnam, and you know they have this little bit here where they're like, "What are you doing here? That's weird. Why are you not in like the Philippines or whatever?" And then they say like, "Yeah, we're making a Pan-Asian peacekeeping alliance." And so I'm going to switch back, but I'm not done with what I'm saying. But we're obviously playing a game, and we're about to rush out the door, and I feel like that might be relevant to what we're doing. But that book came out, and if you guys aren't super familiar with your Asian culture or your history or any of that stuff, long story short, all of Asia hates each other, but those three especially fucking hate each other. Like, go talk to any Asian, they will hate every other Asian just by sole fact that they are not Asian. Even Asians that are, like, you would think are quote unquote better, they will look down on them. Like it's hilarious. But China, Korea, Japan, they really do not like each other. But because of Trump's tariff bullshit and his like wantonness with whatever he's doing with the trade war, which we're not going to get into, this isn't a politics show, but because of that, the China, Japan, and Korea announced like yesterday that they're entering into like an economic alliance, which is absolutely bonkers. That it takes a massive fuck up for that to happen. And so I was just, that page makes me laugh because it's like, whoa, fiction predicts reality, right? Like even they know, like, we Asians don't work together, and then yet here we are, 2025. Oh! I hate Bucky's. Like, Bucky's got one of those specials where if he touches you, you get to keep going. And you can see, he just wiped out all of us alone. What the fuck am I supposed to do, right? Like, I'm a healer. Piss off! Oh, I just did something so dumb. I should not have left into there without any defense. Wow. That's an important thing, guys. If you're going to pick up this game, or if you already do play it, if you play Sue, or you want to play Sue, never jump into a fray without your double jump being ready, because you have no other option. Kill her. I'll just do it right the hell back. Lead the charge. Press the charge. Okay, or just get all specials on me. You know what? Fine. If you think I'm that much of a threat, you boners.
I won't disappear so easily.
Yeah. Ugh, I can jump up and get them in time.
That's much better.
Dude, Thor, piss off. My God.
I got you covered.
Stop flying out of the shield, Star-Lord. You can't get my heals if you don't stay in the area. Good lord. I got killed by my own group. He stopped me from jumping. I am Groot.
I'll fight for my family until the end. So many of them.
Again!
Oh my, you didn't even know I was there. That's bullshit. I was invisible. And we're not bad. Everybody's doing really well. Damn. This is a shitty matchup.
Clearly you needed some help. Powering up. These little robots may be a problem. Disappear! Disappear! Feeling fantastic.
Yeah, I'll do it right back.
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
Wow, Storm kind of wasted hers. That's a big win for us. Oh my goodness. Heal, 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 heal. Heal Wanda, heal Wanda.
Feeling stronger already. The final 10 seconds. No worries. I've got your back.
Got to apologize to your team, guys. When you're a healer, always say, like, my bad. Because I didn't see them behind me. Kill Thor! He's so close, thank God. Now, Betty! Betty the Black Fool. We can do it!
Powering up. They look like they mean business.
She's so dumb!
Armed and dangerous! Again!
Damn it, we're so close! We're about to go into overtime. I can do it. We can do it. We can do it, chat.
I won't disappear so easily.
Chat, is this real? Is the indomitable spirit of mankind real?
Keep fighting until we have a winner.
Everybody but Penny, everybody but Penny. Oh, shit!
The god of thunder!
Such curious little spiders. Hope I can return the favor sometime. Psionic surge begins. I got you covered.
Oh, that was big! Taking out that Thor was huge! Wow!
Feel the wrath of the goddess!
Vortex field. Psionic burst. Systems restored. Anyone willing to help?
Get on, Penny!
Psionic burst. Force burst.
Armed and dangerous!
Fuck! Man!
2, 2, 3.
At least it was competitive, right? Like, at least we didn't just get, like, stomped.
Well, you can't expect
Lord almighty! Of course it was Bucky. Also, I hate that skin because I always think it's Magneto. Look at, like, I don't know if you guys can see it down at the bottom. Like, I'm down to the lowest level on Bronze 1. Like, I just need to go off this rank, then I'm Silver. Then I go up 3 more times, level up, and I can get my damn skin. I have 8 days to do it. And yet, this is... Okay, I'm not even really mad about this one, because, again, this one was at least competitive, but... Damn it! Let's see. So... we've gone 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes actually. So rather than eating up your time and getting to that 3-hour point where YouTube gets really, really mad at us and starts spiking our visibility, we'll close out the show. Before we go, I do want to show you guys this just because it's what I'm bitching about. So Magneto, very, very awesome. He has this King Magnus suit, right? From the House of M arc. He's got, the royal garb. He's, gray hair flowing. He looks great. Very, very, very majestic. And then you have Mr. Winter Soldier down here who has this skin, which is like, I seriously always think it's Magneto. It's gold. He's got gray hair, the red eyes, the pink-red motif. I don't know. When you're on the battlefield, that's just who I assume it is. I can't even see, like, the costumes half the time. I just look for, like, the outline, and I'm like, oh, that's a Bucky that's running. I know we got to fight him. Let's see. Is there anything else that's super cool? What should we end on tonight? What's this? What ending graphic shall I leave us on? Let's just hang out with my girl. Wee Sue! She's so cool, guys. She's so cool, and she's so strong. But... yes, guys, with that, I believe that's probably a really, really good point for us to call it because, yes, like I said, we've gone a little over the 2.5 hour mark. It is at this point that YouTube starts getting very, very mad at us and says, oh, you've gone for 3 hours? Then we're not going to recommend your show to any of your viewers, right? So, with that, I want to say thank you to absolutely every single one of you who stopped by and hung out with me tonight. I know that we've had some scheduling disruptions over these past few weeks. Andrew has just been super busy. Like I said, he's super cool. He's got a social life. We're trying our best to deliver for you guys because that's what we're here for. We're here to give you intellectually honest comic book talk, let you know what's good, let you know what's bad, let you know the truth of what is going on out there, and also let you know, like, there's some cool video games, right? There's still some cool stuff out there. So, with that, as always, guys, go check out boundingintocomics.com every day for new news stories. After we're done here, I'm going to go over there and start uploading all of my stuff. Go follow Andrew on his Twitter at Frajals Fenrir. I can never say it right, but all of our links are down in the description below. So go follow Andrew on YouTube, Twitch, all that fun stuff. Follow me on Twitter if you are so inclined. Check out the link for our Discord server where you can join and chat with everybody you see here tonight. Send images, get updates to what we're doing, all of that cool stuff. As always, because he's not here, I just need to pull it up really quick. Let's see. What? I gotta do this right. Is this... I guess this is gonna be right because it's the only one I have open. So, we will go to... or not. There we go. Yes, guys, as always, Sue, I can still hear you doing your poses and taunts in the back. We're going to mute you. Yes, guys, as always, like I said before, RIPPAVERSE is going onwards and upwards. They have a lot of stuff that is out right now for pre-order. Current live pre-orders include ISOM number 3, where you can close out the, I believe it is the first arc. I totally forget what the name of that arc is. The ill-advised arc, that's what it is. But yes, issue 3 of ISOM, you can close it out. You can get your full little arc there. You also can pick up the first issue, or rather the book. I'm not entirely sure if they're doing this as like a series or if this is a one-shot sort of graphic novel type deal. I'm sure Andrew will watch this in the replay and yell at me for getting this wrong. But you know what? You guys don't give me an official paycheck. So neener. But yes, Zaylin, What Kills Must Die, that is also up. You've got 25 days roughly left for that. Chuck Dixon, Marcos Martin, Joe Bennett. What more do we need to say? This is one that we've talked about this on the show before, but I particularly really like Zaylin's design because obviously it's sort of a Superman Zod analogy that we've got going, but they at least made him look alien, right? Like he's just not another. He's got ears and eyes and nose, but he's just slightly off, and I like that. That's the sort of like weird alienness. Very, very classic comic books, if you will. So go check that out. That is out right now. And then, of course, you have The Great War of Separation #2. More Chuck Dixon, more story by Eric July. You know what it is. Sequel to the last one. This is the crossover. This is what you're going to want to see. So if any of those are up your alley, as always, make your way over to the Rippaverse. I'm sure Andrew would love to have you as a fan, as a customer, as a follower, whatever you need to do. Again, or not again, but also, I just remembered this, go subscribe to the Rippaverse YouTube channel if you're so inclined for more Andrew, because he is currently, well, he wasn't on the last show, but he is sort of the de facto host of the Control Z show that they've been doing for a while now. Go give him some love. Go hear what it's like to the ins and outs of the actual creative or the comic book creation process. All of that over there from them. And yeah, I think that's all I have. As always, guys, you can come back next week, same bat time, same bat channel for another episode of Foil Variant. Hopefully, Andrew should be back in the saddle next week, but if he's not, well, guess what? You got this jackass for one more solo stream, at least. But until then, guys, yes, thank you for hanging out with me. Go check out some good comic books. I highly recommend Ultimate Spider-Man, as always. I'm always going to give a dig for Hell Hunters. And, you know what? I got to look up the name of it, but because I just started reading it and because I'm going to throw... Let's start poisoning the well, if you will, right, Sakura Amida? But because we were talking about manga, a manga that I do want to recommend this manga. I just got to look up the name of it because I'm very bad at names. But yeah, there is a manga called Destroy All of Humanity, They Can't Be Regenerated. And it is a manga completely centered around like Magic the Gathering, but like people playing Magic the Gathering, not like the actual card, you know, Planeswalker lore, but the actual, like, you know, it would be like a manga about me. But it's really, really fun. They are coming to an end, and they are the last Shonen Jump volume with that issue or that chapter in it is going to come with a special card that is the card they took that text from, the title from, but with art from the series. It's really cool. But yeah, go check out all of that stuff. It's all great. Go check out Marvel Rivals if you are so inclined. Maybe we'll start assembling a foil variant team if we get enough people interested. I know in the future we will definitely get Andrew's butt in here and see how he likes Emma Frost. But until then, enough of my rambling. Come hang out with me tomorrow at Good Mav Ugly if you want to hear more of that. We'll talk some anime, tokusatsu, more Nintendo Switch stuff. But with that, guys, I'm out of here for tonight. Catch me on all the social medias. And until then, take it easy.
Never before have we had greater face a complex, rapidly changing world. Think of it a moment.
It is a world in which supersonic speeds are commonplace. It is a world that has seen the coming of the atomic bomb. It has seen the rise of the total state, the dictator, and the mass man. It is a world of new sensations, new excitements, new distractions.
So much to be learned by so many in so little time.
And I suppose you're here with no agenda, as per usual?
On the contrary, I'm here for comics.
How's your comic book collection, Brody?
Oh, it's going good, but